Hello, I'm Richard. Welcome back to my channel over and over and over again. This is the Premier League review week 11. Hello, how you doing? My name's Richard. Welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, the Positive Arsenal channel. This is a new weekly show I've been doing, Premier League review, looking back on the weekend's games, and also as well, we'll try and keep updated later on with the game going on tonight as well. It does actually affect us in the league table, surprisingly enough. But anyway, we'll get on to that a little bit later. I've got a special guest joining me. He's quite a regular on the show these days. He seems to be on here just as much as I am at the moment. It's a pleasure to introduce back again to the channel. It's Melvin. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, thanks. I think we're beginning to look like each other now. Been working together so long.
I know, it seems like it, doesn't it? But it's always a pleasure anyway. So it's all good stuff. So what we're going to be doing is just looking back on all the games played over the weekend in the Premier League, and have a little discussion about them, about the clubs and stuff like that, incidents from the games and that kind of thing. I suppose realistically for me and you, there's only one real place that we can start, isn't there? I mean, what did you make of that yesterday? There seems to be quite a mixed response, really, that I've seen from Arsenal fans. Some Arsenal fans felt that we played quite well and it was just the way it was, and others felt that it was really poor. I may be in the latter category. I didn't think we played particularly well. I thought we just played into Tottenham's hands and they took advantage of it. What did you make of it?
Yeah, exactly the same. I mean, I was doing a watch along and I said to one of the guys, somebody said, after 10 minutes, we're doing all right here. I says, no, we're not. We're playing into their hands. I actually said that. I said, they're going to hit us on the break at some stage. And you noticed a lot of the breaks came from their left-hand side, our right-hand side. You could have read the book and then put it in a film. It'd have been exactly the same. It was like, the shame was that I was correct. I wanted to be wrong. And we never looked like, I mean, we might have nicked a goal, but I said to the boys during the game when it was 2-0, I said, if we score a goal, all that give us is hope and they're going to let us down again. So I'd rather we don't score. It's that bad, you know?
Yeah, I must admit, I think the second goal just before half time and the manner of it as well, with the Thomas Partey kind of thing, which I found that really bizarre. If he's injured, go down, and then maybe the game gets stopped. Maybe not at that time because there was a breakaway on. But for Arteta to push him back onto the pitch when he clearly couldn't run, just seemed, why didn't they tell someone else to cover for him? I just didn't quite understand. The whole thing seemed a mess. And unfortunately, that second goal, I think, killed the game, because at 1-0 at half time, we had half a chance of maybe getting something. But as soon as the second goal went in, coming back from 2-0 down against the Mourinho team with Arsenal, it's just, when we're not scoring goals, it was never going to happen, was it, realistically? I never really felt confident that we could. You always hope, but I didn't think we would. In the end, we only had, 2 shots on target in the whole game. And that kind of sums up where we are, I think, at the moment.
What you said about, he shouldn't have pushed him back on and a blah. But at the end of the day, Richard, players on the pitch should have known to cover him. You don't need a manager telling you to cover, because at the time a manager tells you, the game's over, that the attack's over. So we haven't got the intelligence of the neons to know when, hold on a minute, I've got to cover that geezer, he can't run, or he's on the deck or whatever. So I didn't actually see Arteta pushing back on. I was too distraught with the goal to whatever was going on.
I didn't see it at the time, no. It was afterwards when I saw it, when it was highlighted, But I mean, I just think one of the maybe reasons for that could be, and it's been said a few times, that Arteta is always constantly shouting orders at all the players, so they're constantly doing what they're told, and unless they're told to do something, it's almost they're not going to do it. So if nobody told them to cover for him, then maybe they wouldn't think to do it because they haven't been told. I don't know whether that seems to be what's happening. It seems to be the way we're playing. It is still very, very regimented, I think. It's almost like they've got to do what they're told to do, rather than sometimes taking their own initiative and saying, right, I'm going to do that anyway. You don't see that really. You don't see any of our players generally taking initiative, do you, in the games? And it's just been going on for a while now, and it's quite worrying for me.
It's very worrying. I mean, I heard a rumour that next year we're not going to have the kit we're going to have is an army kit to get the, take all orders. You know what I mean? But I don't know if that's true or not. It seems like it can't be right. You cannot be on a pitch listening for the manager to tell you what to do. If you don't, in a split second, these situations, Richard, aren't they? Split seconds. If you have to wait for the geezer to do it, then you should give up the game. You should actually. He's got to have trust in you to put you on that field and do what you got to do. He might say at a certain time, right, boys, let's be a bit more defensive as a whole. You can't tell him that you cannot coach individuals during a game whilst they got the ball, if you like, what they're supposed to do, because it blows my mind if that's true, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, in his test there said he thinks that they play in their own world. Maybe they do a little bit, but I think it's Arteta's world they're playing in, and that's maybe the problem. That nobody was aware, and I think one of the problems with that, to be fair, I think what happened was Thomas Partey went in for a tackle, didn't he, just prior to that?
That's right.
In their half, and that was when he got injured. We got the ball and had an attack, so everybody's gone to join in the attack. Bellerin had the ball, and a few the midfield Xhaka went up to support him when he maybe didn't need to. But anyway, so there was a massive problem there, which we had time to sort that out. In actual fact, Arteta had time to see it and shout to people to cover, because he went down, and we then had an attack, which then broke down. And that was when Tottenham scored. So I think we had enough time. I don't know whether Arteta didn't know he was that badly injured. I'm not really sure. But it was clear he was, because when Arteta pushed him back on, he was basically hobbling, wasn't he? He couldn't run. And then he had to stop. And then, it was just a complete mess. And that's not the sort of goal, and that's not the sort of thing that should happen for a top Premier League team. That you shouldn't be in that situation. That should not happen. One party, when he went down injured, he should have stayed down. And maybe when our attack broke down, the referee may have stopped the ball, or Tottenham might have kicked it out, and then that goal wouldn't have happened. But I suppose he just tried to want to play on. Or actually, he didn't. He tried to come off, didn't he? He came over to the touchline to say, I'm injured. And he didn't do anything. He could have either gone down or been able to carry on. Instead, he just basically left ourselves open with 10 men. And in the end, it cost us that crucial second goal, which killed the game for me.
You say it cost us a second. You say it cost us the goal, and to a bit it probably did. But there's other factors in that goal as well. When the ball broke, we had nobody in midfield. They had 5 against 3, and after Partey went down, they had 5 attackers against. They had 2 defenders. So it's not as if like he was on the goal line, he went down and he missed the ball. A lot had to happen between us breaking down and him scoring the goal, and they went like us for a hot knife through butter. And that is so disappointing. You knew what he was going to do, Kane. You could, sorry, Tom, to give it the Kane. You knew what was happening. You're sitting there going, please don't do it. Please. And you knew he did. It was a left foot shot from Kane as well, which he's not known for. He gave it some welly, didn't he?
Well, he just put his head down and whacked it, didn't he?
Yeah, God, yeah.
And it was, it was one of them ones where they either go in or, it could have gone anywhere, but he just hit it right and went in top of underneath the crossbar, didn't it? Hi, Andrew, how you doing? He just asked us when did we start? We only just started, didn't we? 5 or 10 minutes ago. That was that goal in particular was a disaster from start to finish, and the first goal wasn't a lot better, if we're honest. Again, we got caught out, didn't we, on the counter attack? And people are saying, Tottenham didn't, we dominated the game in the second half. But I never felt, I'm sure if I'd been a Tottenham fan, I wouldn't have felt particularly worried, because they were comfortable in that game. And I say 2 shots on target, 2 headers they were actually from Lacazette. And what I didn't understand is, I don't know what you made of that. Arteta's comments afterwards saying the team played in the way that he wanted them to play, putting all those crosses in, and we've got 2 strikers who don't score headers very often. They're not known for their heading ability. If we'd had a Giroud on the pitch, I can remember so many times before when Giroud played, we didn't get crosses in for him. And now we haven't got a player who's powerful in the air, a striker, and we're slinging in 50 crosses, whatever it was yesterday. And then Arteta's going, that's what I wanted them to do. Well, if that's what he wanted us to do, then he's got the tactics wrong again, because that isn't the way to play, especially with Tottenham. Alderweireld's decent in the air as a defender. Even Dyer's not a bad header of the ball either. And they just dealt with it all day, because we had nobody who was able to attack the ball like an old-fashioned centre forward, like Alan Smith would have done. Even, like I say, Giroud, who's on fire at the minute. And it was just a stupid tactic, I thought, to play when we haven't got the players to carry it out. You can put as many crosses in as we like. We're never going to score many.
You know something, Richard? The thing I saw yesterday as well was when the ball was crossed and you had Lacazette or Aubameyang in there, they never went for the ball. They weren't brave enough, because those 2 centre-halves are big boys, right? Strong as you like, and they won every 70-30 ball. And no pressure at all. It was embarrassing. No one, no one came off with blood on their head up, try to go. It was like, if it comes to me, I'll accept it. That's not a centre forward or a striker. And also, when he headed that ball, Aubameyang, I know he didn't have a great game yesterday. When he headed that ball, he should have scored. Come on, a natural goal scorer. Had no one with him. He had the whole of the goal, could have put it either side of the keeper, and he just put his head on it. You knew he didn't have the confidence to put it one side or down. You just let him hit. He basically hit his head, didn't it? And that's so disappointing.
But I think that shows that that's not his strength, is it? He doesn't score many goals with his head. I mean, I saw a statistic yesterday. Somebody said that Aubameyang and Lacazette between them have only scored 7-headed goals for Arsenal in their whole careers at Arsenal, both of them together. So, all them goals that they've scored, they've probably scored, 100 goals between them or more, and only 7 of them have been headers. And then we're slinging crosses into the box and wondering why we're not scoring. It's like, well, clearly that's not their strength, is it?
It isn't. One of the goals he did score that I thought he did well with his head, was it last season or last year? I don't know where I am. Newcastle at home. When he had to put all the power on the ball himself, Aubameyang. Do you remember it? He had to head it down in the far corner. That was decent. He can head a ball. It's not his strength. But even so, a guy that's put on this pedestal should be able to head a ball better than he did yesterday. That's what I'm saying.
No, totally. I completely agree. And at the end of the day, if you're a centre forward, a striker, certainly playing in the Premier League, if you can't score your fair share of headed goals, then you're not going to score as many goals as you should, because that's how the English game's always been. And even now, players that are good in the air still score a lot of goals in the Premier League, don't they? With their look at Calvert-Lewin, for example, top goal scorer in the Premier League. He would have loved some of them crosses yesterday. He'd have probably been able to cause Tottenham a few problems, but we haven't got players that do that. Mark's in the chat. He was on yesterday as a Tottenham fan, defending his tactics and game. But maybe he was, but he's made himself look stupid, hasn't he? I think. But anyway.
Well, you talk about centre forwards, Richard. Well, even the Sheffield United centre forward, a bit like Crouch with a beard. I mean, if he'd have scored yesterday, I reckon, with all that service in the air, he gets a sense of it.
Yeah, if he's got a free header, exactly. When he's put under pressure, when he's got to beat a defender, he can't do it. Exactly. When he's got a free header, he might.
I had a free header yesterday. Sorry, I thought that was a free header yesterday.
Well, he got in between the two defenders, didn't he? And I suppose it was a free header, but he had to he did probably get the good flight. Well, that Newcastle one, he had so much time to see it, didn't he? And figure out what he was going to do. Yeah, and I think that's that's slightly different. But I don't know. To me, it was the wrong tactics to play with the team that we had, with the strikers that we had on the pitch. It was the wrong tactic, and then it didn't work. And it's no surprise to me it didn't work, because that's not their strengths. And surely for me, what we needed to try and do is get in behind them a little bit more, get their defence turning, facing their own goal, and then we might have had a chance. And we didn't. I can't remember us doing that once, or it might have been just once, and that was it. And you're never going to score goals in the Premier League playing the way that we did yesterday. That is, to me, that's a Sheffield United tactic. That's why they're bottom of the league. That's a Burnley tactic. Them sort of clubs that are fighting to stay in the league, they play like that. They've got big lumps up front who can score headers. Play like that then all day long. But we haven't got players like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's why you should never do it. It works for them every so often. I'll tell you what I thought was disappointing as well. I think from Bellerin, Lacazette had a chance. He crossed it. And he just stood there, Lacazette. He had no foresight to move forward into the box. He just stood there. And Aubameyang for the second goal. It wasn't a great ball from Bellerin. Again, he waited for the ball. You don't wait for the ball if you're an attacker. You've got to make it your own. He could have come in front of the defender to get the ball, and the defender might clip him. You don't know. No, just stand there. You've got no chance.
No, exactly. And unfortunately, Aubameyang's been doing that, isn't he? He did it against Wolves as well. There was an opportunity last week against Wolves where he waited for the ball to come to him, and it was Conor Cody that got in front and cleared it away. And yesterday it was Alderweireld, wasn't it, who got in front of him and got the ball. And it's like you said, you can't wait for the ball to come to you. If you want to score a goal, you've got to put yourself there. You've got to give everything you can to get there first. And if you get there first, you've got half a chance of scoring. And if you don't, you've got no chance. And that's what's happening. And I mean, it is frustrating so much, because the position that we're in the league, 15th place, we could even be 16th tonight. If Brighton win tonight, we'll be 16th in the league after 11 games, right? And that is, and if we do happen to lose to Burnley at the weekend, they'll only be 4 points behind us with a game in end. And, the position that we're in with the players that we've got and the wages that they're on, it's to me, it's unacceptable. And the level of performances in a row that we're producing now, it's not just a one-off or 2 games. It's been 6, 7, 8, 9 games in the Premier League in a row that we've been poor. really, really, really poor. And I don't know how much longer it can go on without something having to change.
I said yesterday. Oh, sorry. Have you seen Albert's thing on the link in the thing?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Just seen Albert. Albert Eden, mate. Yeah, I'll send you across the link now, mate. No problem.
The thing is, every team we've beaten this year, even United, we were lucky to beat. I know we beat United; it was a good performance, but they had a couple of chances, like that. But the home to West Ham United, very lucky. Home to Sheffield United, we were fortunate. We were hanging on by our nails the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, we were, yeah.
And it's just that, it's just so disappointing. And I would give him, I said yesterday, I'll give him another 6 league games. Forget about Europe, that's separate. 6 league games. And if there's if there's no improvement, I think the alarm bells are not quite going yet. They're nearly going, but in 6 games' time, if we are where we are now or worse, the alarm bells have got to ring very, very heavily, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to see him go, Richard. I don't want to see him go because I think there's something there. But I think he's got to learn quickly now. He's made mistakes. We all make mistakes, but he's got to learn and not keep doing the same mistakes because that's so frustrating for us supporters.
It is. I mean, for me, when he said a couple of weeks ago or last week, whenever it was, that he needs 5 or 6 players, didn't he? To play the way he wants to play. Well, he's at the wrong club because he's not going to get 5 or 6 top quality players in 1 or 2 transfer windows. And if he wants that, he needs to go somewhere else because he's not going to get it at Arsenal. He's got to get more out of what he's got.
Correct.
Yes, we'll buy 1 or 2 players here and there. But by the time he gets his 5 or 6 players, he's going to need another 5 or 6 because the others would have left or others would be past their best. Because that's what Arsenal do. We're not going to go and buy 5 or 6 players in 1 transfer window or 2 even. Not top quality players. We'll buy a few squad players as well, but it's ridiculous. And if that's what he needs,
is he telling us, Richard, that out of the 25 players we've got, he's only got 5 or 6 decent ones, and he's only out of the 19 that he's talking about, which are not good enough by his own admission, he never got rid of any of them.
Yeah, no. To me, he's got. I don't know. I'll say it's for me. I don't know whether or not because he's come from Man City where they've got all the money in the world, they could buy the best players that they needed, and he's still got that in his head. That's what he needs to do. But to me, unless he can start to get more out of the players that he's got, like he did at the end of last season, because he did it. Xhaka was giving him a game. Ceballos was giving him a game. Aubameyang was scoring goals regularly, and now his key players, they're not performing for him. So either he's lost them completely, or his tactical changes have been what's caused the issues, and I don't know whether that's the reason, but something is not right, definitely at the moment.
A good friend of mine has got a theory. He said it right at the beginning of the season, and I poo-pooed it when he was talking rubbish. But I don't know. We know about the Ozil thing and everything else, but he reckons us getting rid of Martinez, he was quite close to Aubameyang and a few of the players, they might have gone, oh, this is not right. He deserves that jersey. He's proved it. And he's taken us to because of him, we did win a lot of those games, our goalkeeper. He kept us in games and he was terrific, let's face it. Let him go, it might be a bit of resentment in the dressing room, we don't know.
And the Ozil situation as well, because he's
that as well. Yeah,
he's got some friends in the dressing room as well, hasn't he? And probably Socrates as well, because Socrates has been left out. No one's really mentioning him much. I know he's not the greatest player, but he's another player that's been left out, and he's got mates in the squad. They're training every day with the first team. That can't be doing a lot of good for the harmony of the group, can it? Really, I don't think, with those 2 players left out of the squad training.
Even if whatever you think of Socrates and people like that. And I don't think he's the best centre-half we've ever had by a long chalk. But he gave 100%. And you've got other players making mistakes that keep getting picked every week. And you're thinking, hold on a minute. Why is this? Why is this? They might be resenting that players are being... I don't want him to have any favourites, this manager. And it seems like he might have.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's probably picking the players that he knows are doing what he wants them to do or what he's telling them to do. I mean, Hasselhoff is quite a good shout, actually, because I've been really impressed with him. But he had a bad time at the beginning, didn't he, at Southampton? And he's turned it around. That's maybe something else that we could look at another time, maybe. Albert is with us. How you doing, Albert?
Exactly. Yeah, I got a formal look on, man. The prior engagement, mate.
Is it a wedding you've been to?
I don't always look like this, man. So, feast your eyes, man.
Hey,
But I'll probably
you're looking smart, man. You're looking smart.
I'll try, man. I'll try.
I said you didn't have to dress up to come on the show. You didn't have to.
How deep have you got into it so far?
We just really touched on our game yesterday so far. Be interested to know what you made of the performance, actually, because me and Melvin are both agreeing that it was pretty poor, actually. What did you make of it?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Rich, man. Melv, good to see you again, mate. Rich, you know what it is? When I saw the formation, I must admit, I was surprised. I thought, okay, maybe he's changed it. I was gone for a flat back four. He's playing Lacazette in the number 10 position, whatever, false nine, whatever you want to call it. But then I thought to myself, you know what? I'm actually really, really shocked he's gone for a back four when I thought about it. Because if you're going to play a flat back four, you cannot play Granit Xhaka in the midfield. You just can't. You have, if you're going to play him, you need to play three centre backs. So I was surprised. I wasn't surprised to see Bellerin come back in. I wasn't surprised to see Willian start. I thought my outside pick from the game on Thursday night, who would start yesterday, was Lacazette in that position as well.
Yeah.
I would have personally started Ceballos. I wasn't.
Not El Neni, because I thought El Neni would have been a better option, because him and Thomas Partey linked well together in the last time they played. So surely for me, putting El Neni in there next to Thomas Partey from the start would have been the natural option rather than putting Xhaka or Ceballos, actually. Yeah. I mean, Ceballos did all right when he came on, but...
Yeah, Rich, you know what it was? Because when I was doing my team lineup, I think this must have been it must have been on the Saturday. And this is bearing in mind, I was doing it off the basis that Thomas Partey wouldn't be fit.
Yeah.
So that's why I had El Neni and Ceballos in there. So I was really surprised. Reece Nelson wasn't even in the squad. Was he injured? I don't know. Yeah.
Smith Rowe wasn't on the bench either.
No, nothing. So yeah, Arteta does baffle you, man. Like, and I was surprised to see Thomas Partey start. Not because he doesn't give us something in midfield, but obviously, I think the physicality point from the physicality point of view, because I was thinking Tottenham with Ndombele, even though he didn't start, I thought he was going to start, and Sissoko and Højbjerg, I thought our midfield would get pummeled, mate. So I understand why Partey did start, but you could see that was not a good decision.
No,
I was more upset when I saw the lineup or the players, not so much the lineup. I thought I knew what the lineup would be from the players. I put out a tweet just half hour before kickoff. But I reckon El Neni and Maitland-Niles ought to leave the club in January if they can't get in this team. Maitland-Niles El Neni should have been midfield with Partey. So those two players, what have they got to do? Well, they haven't let us down for a long time, those two now. Yeah. What have they got to do to get in the team? I just don't understand it. And Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he should. If I was him, I'd be phoning up the Wolves manager. How you doing, son? Do you remember me?
You know what? I'm glad you brought up Ainsley Maitland-Niles. That's the one I forgot. That's another strange one.
Isn't it?
I don't understand what he's doing, Rich. Like, I mean, even what did you make of the incident with the Partey thing walking off the pitch? What did you make of that?
I didn't see it straight away, Bill. I didn't see it live.
No, I mean, we kind of mentioned it at the beginning of the show. I mean, for me, it was a complete and utter mess. When Thomas Partey got injured, just as we broke away for our attack, he should have gone down. And then as soon as our attack broke down, the game would have stopped and they wouldn't have had the opportunity to break. And as soon as they did break, we said before, me and Melvin, someone should have been covering for him. Naturally, you cover for your player who's injured. You make an effort to get back. And I mean, Xhaka was all over the place. Bellerin was halfway up the pitch because he had put the cross in. And it was just at one point, I think I saw a clip on Match of the Day. Was it like, did they have like 5 players against 2 or something on that break? And it was like, what on earth are we doing? That's not Premier League. That's not a Premier League way to play. You can't play like that in the Premier League and expect to get anywhere when you're leaving yourself wide open like that. This is what we used to complain about under Unai Emery, that we were wide open in midfield and teams were running through us and creating 50 chances. And Tottenham didn't create a lot of chances yesterday because they didn't need to.
That's the thing. Like,
they took the 2 they needed and then they sat back with a cigar for the rest of the second half. Didn't they? That's what they did, and they comfortably won that game. And I don't care what people say. We had 67, 70% possession.
No, rubbish.
It was
Rubbish.
absolutely pointless possession because it didn't cause them any problems at all. Literally,
Yeah.
Alderweireld was on his sun lounger in that second half. Him and Eric Dyer, they had nothing to do. They didn't have nothing. They didn't have to strain themselves. It was literally just head the ball away, no problem.
Yeah.
Intercept the
You know
pass,
what?
no problem.
You know, it's not Spurs have not the laundry lady at Spurs didn't come in today. She didn't have to do any of their shirts or shorts.
No.
There was no mud on them. There was no sweat. It was quite easy for them. They said, "Have a day off, love. See you next week."
Yeah, I was saying to Rich, I was saying to Melvin yesterday, because I did a live watch along on my channel, so big up the guys for that. And I said to Ryan, I said, whatever happens, the result, I'm going to come on your channel afterwards. And I was saying to Mel's, like, in my time as an Arsenal fan, I've never known Tottenham, forget whether it's home or away, go into North London derby as heavy favourites, not slight favourites, not they might nick it, heavy favourites. I've never seen that in my lifetime.
No.
And the thing is as well, the first, like, as for the goals we conceded, right? The first goal, oh my God. I mean, Rob Holding and Bellerin. I don't know what Rob Holding's doing. I mean, I don't know how long you're going to back off the player coming towards you. Bellerin, I don't know where he's going. I mean, is he covering? Who is he covering? He should be covering the run from Reguilon on the outside. So you know, Williams jogging back in. By the time he's there, Son's already got the shot off.
Yeah.
What did you make of the Leno? Like, I've seen a lot of people like digging him out, man.
He was in a bad position, wasn't he? Because he was very, very far over to the right-hand side. And when you saw it from behind the goal, the replay of the goal, I mean, I mentioned that on my watch-along when I saw the replay. It's like he was far too far over this way, and he gave Son so much to aim at, and he's a good player, and he found the spot he needed to. But if Leno had been maybe 2 or 3 paces over to the left a little bit more, he would have maybe been able to have saved that. Or certainly got closer to it, or he would have made a lot more of a smaller target for Son to have to hit. He'd have had to gone right in the top corner to score, and he didn't have to put in the top corner, did he? He just literally had to find that space of about like 15 yards.
Bit controversial, gentlemen. Would Martinez have saved it? I think he would have done because he's got the bigger size, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah, he's got a bigger wingspan for certain. Yeah.
That's what they say about Leno, innit? For a goalkeeper size, even look at Runnison. He's you know, he's young, but God, he's got a lot of development in terms of physicality to do.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's impossible to say, but I suppose if Leno had been in a slightly better position, he may well have saved it. And if Martinez was in the right position, he might have saved it. We don't really know, but I looked at his positioning and thought it was a bit suspect actually at the time. He was far too, like, he was covering a near post. It was obvious what the only thing Son could do was cut inside and whip a shot to the far post. He couldn't do anything else really, could he, in the position that he was, because Rob Holding had sort of blocked off going outside, which he wasn't going to do anyway, because he never does. You know, he plays on the left, he cuts inside, and he does it all the time. So yeah, it was poor from Rob Holding. It was poor from most of the defenders actually all through the game. Every time Tottenham got the ball and came forward, I was thinking they're going to score another one. And luckily in the second half, they decided not to bother, which I thought was fair play to them, because you know they could have put us away in that game 4 or 5 if they'd wanted to. And I
thought arguably the second goal was worse. I mean, from our attack. I mean, one pass from I think it was Aurier to Lo Celso.
Yeah.
And you've got the midfield just parted like the Red Sea, man. There was no one there.
No, there was no one there. No,
that was a car park, wasn't it? That midfield.
It's just terrible.
Empty car park
from our attack.
Yeah. I know it was. I mean, at the end of the day, right before the game started, we all knew, everybody in the world knew that Tottenham were going to be dangerous on a counter attack, because that's how they play. That's how Mourinho plays, and that's what they've done all season, right? Arteta must have watched the game when they played Man City the other week, because that's exactly what they did to them. So surely you set yourself up. Let's not be caught on a counter attack. We're not scoring enough goals. We do need to take a few more risks sometimes, but we can't get caught out. We've got to keep a good midfield shape, and that's what we didn't do. And we were caught out twice. The first time you think, okay, it was a good quality strike, although we were ripped apart. But then you think, well, don't do that again. Don't get caught out again. And we did.
Minute from half time. Minute from half time. Let's do it then. Let's go from half time.
Do you know what makes it worse? Like, I mean, I know it's Arteta's first job, right? I understand that, but he's been in this league a long time, man. Like, you've seen what players are about. So when you see Villa do what they've done when they come to the Emirates, when you see Wolves what they've done when they come to the Emirates, Leicester, you know who the danger men are. Like, they're not a secret, and yet we're still getting pulled apart.
Yeah. But to me, this shows maybe two things. It shows one, Arteta's inexperience as a coach, perhaps as a head coach and a manager. I think it may be highlighting this every week. It's being highlighted more and more clearly, I think. And secondly, it just shows that he's not learning quickly enough. He's not learning quickly enough.
Yeah. You're right.
If we could see something over the last 2 or 3 games, you're thinking, look, actually, he's realised the mistakes from the previous games and he's trying to put them right, and you can see that he's done that. Then you can think, fair enough. You can see where we're progressing to. But at the moment, it's like every week the same things are happening again and again. We're playing the same players that aren't playing. I mean, how Bellerin's getting picked every single week. I just haven't got a clue, because I mean, I felt sorry for him. Yes, I even said it on my watch along. I actually felt sorry for him because he was having that bad a game. He couldn't even take a throw in properly, and that's not the first time. And it's like,
that's really embarrassing, man.
If you're that low on confidence, right? If you just can't get to that level for whatever reason, then you can't be constantly being picked in the team. It's like Arteta saying to him, "I'll give you one more game." He gives him one more game, and they're crap again. Willian's the same. How many more one more games is he going to give them until he actually realises that they're either not good enough, or they need a break out of the team because their confidence has gone, or whatever it is that's causing them to play like that. I mean, Bellerin yesterday, he wouldn't have got in my vets team. That's how terrible he was. Honestly, he was dreadful, and he stayed on until the end. He took him off, didn't he? With about 5 minutes to go, when he changed it around and put Saka as right wing back. And it's like, you know, it was just great. None of it makes any sense. And Arteta is, I honestly don't know what he's watching when he goes away and watches the games back and he watches the opposition. I don't know what he's watching, because whatever it is, he must be watching Netflix or something else, because he's not watching football, quite clearly.
It's all about standards. If you've got those players and they didn't look like they look like they look now, and they lost 5 years, and they will play for the Arsenal reserves like they play now, they'd never get through the Arsenal, would they?
No.
And that, but they're good enough to play for our first team every week, but they would never ever go through our youth and reserve to get to the first team, because people would look at them. Look at that idiot! Can't take a bloody throw on. Get him off. Look at this geezer. He's falling on his arse when the geezer takes a shot. Get rid of him. Look at this geezer. What's he doing with 20 yards of space, not picking up a man? Get rid of him. And all our players, or most of them anyway, make these basic errors. And they're lucky they're not on trial. But they should be on trial every week, in my mind.
Yeah.
But they are. Technically, they are. They're on trial with us fans. They should be on trial with the manager. They should be on trial with everybody, because everybody's watching them every week and watching them do the same things every week. So they are on trial technically, but unfortunately, they're not getting punished for their constant mistakes, are they? They should be. Arteta needs to stand up and say, I'm sorry, guys, you're not doing it. You're just not performing. And I'm gonna put some faith in some of the young guys that have done well in the Europa League. Yes, it's a different level. Let's not try and pretend that they can walk straight into the Premier League and play like they do in the Europa League. But some of them deserve it. Maitland-Niles, for me, he was on the bench. As soon as Thomas Partey got injured, bring Maitland-Niles on, or bring El Neni on. Something like that. Someone
who's got Maitland-Niles.
Yeah.
He's one of the best players we've got in tackling, standing up. You know what I mean? He never dives in. He stands up, and he's intelligent. He's an intelligent footballer in far as defensively goes, because he knows where to stand, and he knows when to make that tackle. Yeah. And he wins every 50-50 tackle. 2 players, comes off, here come away with the ball. So it's so disappointing.
Yeah, it's like even with the Rich. It's like even with the I don't get this. Even the substitutions. I mean, he's not proactive at all. I mean, the first substitution was enforced, so he had to do that. And the second
he made the wrong choice, didn't he? He had to make it, but he made the wrong one. He brought the wrong player on.
Because I'm thinking, we get to all right. You come out for the second half. All right, give it maximum 10-15 minutes. You're still 2-0 down. Like, what are you waiting for? You can't wait. He brought an Eddie with about, I don't know how long. It can't have been that long left. I mean, it's just I don't get his substitution. No. And I feel sorry for Gabriel. I do. I thought only him, Tierney, and probably Saka a little bit came out of any tiny resemblance of credit.
Yeah, agree with that. Yeah. He was borderline Saka for me. Just about okay, Saka. The other 2, very good games. I thought, considering they're playing with a lot of rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it is as well? I think the thing is as well, like, even if you go back, I'm talking about the quality of the players at the club. If we go back to Europa League final, I said it before, actually someone told me as well, like, we still got 8 of that starting 11 at the club.
Who let us down? We're talking about.
Yeah. It's part 11. Yeah. Yeah. The only three that has left was it Czech, Monreal, and Kashani. Other than that, the other 8 are still here at the club.
That's bad.
In some capacity.
Didn't realise that. Perhaps I should have done.
I didn't realise that, but yeah, that's probably true. Because I suppose one of the problems we can't get rid of half of them because no one wants to buy them.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not been performing, have they? But yeah, hang on. Andrew said.
It's a tough watch, mate. I mean,
it is a very tough watch.
Yeah,
it's getting worse, and every week it's getting worse and worse, and that to me can't go on. I don't think Arteta's got long. I've got to be honest. I don't want him to go. I like the guy. I just feel as though he's a dead man walking at the minute. And
at the moment he is,
It's just a matter of time, isn't it? Because it's a bit like how it was with Unai Emery a year or so ago when we were heading towards the end. You could just see every week the performances were steadily getting worse, if nothing else. And the mistakes wasn't being put right. The players wasn't playing for him. And unfortunately, as it pains me to say it, that's what's happening now. And I can't see any way that this is going to turn around in the next 5, 6. I mean, Melvin said before, giving Arteta another 6 Premier League games to start showing some improvements. I can't see how that's going to happen personally, just because there's no evidence on the pitch so far over the last 6 games to suggest that suddenly it's all going to click. Now Thomas Partey is probably going to be injured for them 6 games as well. Yeah, so one hope that we had of maybe giving us something a little bit different that we needed in midfield isn't going to be there now, because he shouldn't have started that game because he clearly wasn't fit enough. That should have been flagged up. That's how desperate Arteta is at the moment. Yeah. He's playing a player that's nowhere near fit enough in a North London derby when he's got someone like Maitland-Niles, had a great game in midweek. He's got El Neni, who played all right in midweek. He's done some good games for us. 2 decent midfielders who can do a similar role to Thomas Partey. Not as good, but they were fit and they were ready to play. And he took the gamble on Thomas Partey because that's how desperate he was. And it's backfired now, and I doubt we'll see Thomas Partey again until January, because it's the same injury, and when it comes back so quickly, when it wasn't fully recovered, it's going to probably be worse. So he'll be out for longer now, and that's Arteta's fault for playing him. You know, Thomas Partey might turn around and say, "Yes, boss, I'm fit. I want to play. Of course he does. Every player does, but they've got to have assessed him properly, surely. And if they didn't, last week the David Luiz thing with his head injury, is our medical team not right in the head, because they let him play on when he shouldn't have done. They put Thomas Partey in the starting 11 when they shouldn't have done. And now, you know, we've lost David Luiz for a couple of games that he might have been able to play yesterday had he not carried on last week. And Thomas Partey now could be out for another 5, 6, 7 games when he could have been fit to play next week and play properly and be actually 100% fit to play. And there just seems to be mistake after mistake going on at the club at the moment, from the coaching side, from the players and from the medical team, from everybody at the club. It's just a total mess. And I've never known it like this. You know, you can sometimes understand that the team goes through a time when the players don't play very well, you have a bad run. But when absolutely the whole club is just in a mess, from top to bottom, it's a complete and utter disaster at the moment. And, you know, I don't want to even think about it, but this is the type of thing that happens when a big club ends up getting relegated, like a Leeds or like a Newcastle, or a big club gets relegated. Is that it happened to Man United once in the 1970s. It happened to Tottenham in the 1970s because of one season where everything is a disaster. And so far,
West Ham had a very good team, Richard, when they went down. That's fantastic players. Yeah. And yet it never clicked and they went down. But one thing also about yesterday's game, which is upsetting, as Arsenal supporters, we can't make excuses. We could have said, "Oh, the ref gave a bad penalty away. We're unlucky. This one against us should never have been sent off." Blah blah. We can't. That's the sad thing. We've got no excuses. We got to just say we're not good enough, and that is very tough to take.
Yeah, and did you see like even the game yesterday? I'm sure you guys definitely saw it as well. Like I'm seeing things like Son's laughing and joking, like it's a stroll. Mourinho sitting back on.
Mourinho was having it off, isn't he? He's loving it. He knows the camera's on him and he's playing up to the camera. And did you see what I had to turn it off? He was saying something nice about Arteta after the game.
Yeah, I saw that.
He was so condescending. I heard the first 4 words. I went, no, I can't have it. I had to turn it off.
I'm thinking, are the players not seeing this on the pitch? What's going on here? And the thing is, I know Melvin said 6 games. I said, I think I said 4 because we had what we got. I know Southampton, Burnley, Southampton. What's the other game? Everton and Chelsea. I mean,
Oh
Premier
my
League game.
God.
Sorry, Mel. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I generally do. I said before the I think I said it before the Leeds game. Actually, I think if this form continues with Arteta, I think he'd be lucky to see the new year in.
Yeah, I said Christmas. I said we'd be lucky to see. You'd be lucky to see Christmas unless things improve.
Because Rich, when we had them run of games, like we had when we had Leeds, Wolves, and Spurs. I mean, I said at the time, out of a possible 9 points, I said we'll take 4.
I said 4 as well.
Yeah, we didn't even get that.
We got 1.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, I thought we'd beat Leeds, draw at home to Wolves, and then we lose to Spurs, and that's what scored the 4 points. But
I thought that as well. Yeah, or we'd beat Wolves and draw with Leeds and lose to Spurs. Yeah, but I thought 4 points. I said that on the show. Melvin did as well that week. Andrew seems to think he'll be out for the season. I don't know. Let's hope that's not the case. But it wouldn't surprise me. We'll be told 3 weeks and a slight setback. That's what happened with Jack Wilshere, wasn't it? Jack Wilshere would get injured. We'd be told a couple of weeks, and then it turned into 18 months.
Wilshere, Ramsey.
What about Rosicky? Wasn't he out for a little bit? Rosicky.
He was out for a whole season, wasn't he?
And it was about a year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Also, before we stop talking about the Arsenal, I want to say one bit of sad news tonight. I heard that Kenny Sanderson's got dementia.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that is very sad.
Mels, I'm glad you said it because I saw something. I didn't know what it was about Kenny Sanderson. I saw people tweeting, but I didn't know what it was. But I didn't know that. Didn't know that, mate.
Yeah. I heard that just actually probably about half an hour before we came on air. And that is sad because I know he's had a lot of problems in his personal life. And he was a great footballer, wasn't he? I mean, I don't know whether you remember him playing for Arsenal, Albert, or was he a bit just before you?
No, I've said to you before, Rich, because obviously you've seen a lot more Arsenal than I have. But like the likes of, there's 2 Arsenal players that I would have liked to have seen play personally. The first one, is Liam Brady. The things I heard about him, and 2 would be the other one, Kenny Sanderson.
He was terrific in his as well.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Yeah, I loved the guy. He was a fantastic player, and not only for Arsenal but for England as well. For years and years and years, he was just brilliant. And it is really sad what's happened to him actually. But we can only just wish him all the best, really, because unfortunately, I'd say he hasn't had the best he hasn't had the best of times in his life since he finished playing, has he? Unfortunately. Which is really sad, isn't it? It just goes to show that you can seem to have everything in your life, but ultimately you can have nothing if you're not in a place to appreciate it. Unfortunately,
exactly.
It is a shame, is it? So I mean, all the best to Kenny. Let's hope he, we wish him all the best and that he can.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
But no, I think maybe we all need to move away from the Arsenal game now because I think it's. I think we've gone over enough. I wanted to move on to this next game, which there won't be a lot to talk about, but I just think it's raised a couple of issues that maybe do need to be discussed.
Yeah.
So this game obviously didn't end up going ahead this weekend because of the Newcastle players suffering, or a lot of them testing positive for COVID last week. Now, this to me raises some issues that this can happen to any club at any time at this moment, can't it? And I'm surprised it's took this long for a game to be postponed, actually, because of it. But I don't know if you can remember. I mean, Melvin probably will. I mean, you might remember this, Albert. It must have been in the 1990s. It was Middlesbrough once. They wanted to cancel a game against Blackburn because they had an illness going through the squad.
Absolutely.
They had about 10 or 11 players who were ill. So they wrote to the Premier League and said, we want the game called off because we've got all this illness in the squad. The Premier League said no. So Middlesbrough in the end didn't play the game. They got deducted 3 points. And in the end, they got relegated by 2 points or something. That would have kept them up had they just played the game and lost 10-0.
Yeah.
It's just fun, isn't it? And now things have changed. At Newcastle, I have a couple of players who aren't available, and they call the game off rather than saying, "Well, play your youth team, play your kids, play anybody, just play the game." And they didn't. They've let them do it, and it just goes to show that happens in life as well at the moment, doesn't it? If you're at work now, if you had a little bit of a cough at work, you'd have to go in, otherwise you don't get paid. Now they'll like basically won't let you anywhere near the building.
Yeah, it's true.
What I thought at the time. The time that had it been Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, they would have not played the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything's changed because of that. I think that was poor. Didn't they get worse than 3 points off though, Richard? Didn't they lose the game, say 3-0, and they also took some other points off?
Yeah,
I'm probably wrong in my mind.
They lost the game and got 3 points deducted. So
that's 6 points.
No, they got 3 points deducted plus they lost the game.
Yeah.
Well,
so
it would have been better off to play the game and get beat 10-0 then.
Yeah, exactly. They would have been, and they would have ended up staying up.
That's what I mean. Something like that.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It was ridiculous. That's not fair. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. That was a ridiculous season at the time, but it just kind of goes to show how at this moment in time, with the way things are, you get this game called off nice and early for a very similar reason. In actual fact, when you look at it, in fact, probably worse because we don't know how many of the Newcastle players are actually ill. They've tested positive, but how many have actually couldn't physically play? That Middlesbrough team that time, they had several players who wasn't fit to play. They were ill and couldn't, wasn't able to train what they want to play. So, but it just kind of, I'm just surprised that actually this. It's happened, took this long for a game to be cancelled for that reason. And I wouldn't be surprised now if we see a few doing it. All it's got to take is someone like Liverpool to say, we've got a lot of injuries at the minute. Klopp doesn't keep playing these games. They can say, we just had 10 players test positive, so we can't play. And it wouldn't be surprised if that starts happening now because they can get away with it because this game's hasn't gone ahead.
Yeah.
It's probably the right decision, let's be honest. If they've had 10 people test positive for COVID-19, then they shouldn't play the game. But it's now going to make other clubs maybe think, you know what, we're missing a few players this week.
2 decent players,
yeah, absolutely, it's true.
And it's just throws up a few little issues that maybe aren't just people maybe don't always think about. The game should be off, which it should be. But let's just see what happens now there's a busy time over Christmas with lots of games. A lot of teams won't be happy about playing every 2 or 3 days when it comes to later on in the month. So let's hope that no other games get called off. But I'll be amazed if we get through all this now without any more games going the same way as that Aston Villa and Newcastle game did. And I made a mistake actually. I had 2 Aston Villa players in my fantasy team. I didn't take them out because I forgot.
I made a big mistake the week before, mate, with triple captains, mate. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was Vardy, wasn't it? I know a
lot of people that did that. A lot of people that did it.
No, that wasn't great, was it at all? But anyway, you live and learn, don't you? I left Jimenez in as well for Wolves. I forgot about him not playing either, which was silly because I should have known as soon as it was our game that he got injured in. But talking of Wolves, if we move on to the next game. I don't know if how much of this game you guys watched, but I saw a few highlights of it, and actually I thought Wolves had a few chances in this game, and it didn't look like a 4-0. But it sums up Liverpool. They don't play well. They've got loads of injuries, and they're still miles better than everybody else. And obviously, bearing in mind, Wolves, of course, came to the Emirates last week and beat us, reasonably comfortably as well. And Liverpool pushed them aside almost without even having to try too hard. And I don't know, it's frustrating. It was frustrating for me because Liverpool are a good side, don't get me wrong, and they've got a lot of injuries and they're still winning games. But what chance have the rest of them's got when they're just doing that? I mean, Melvin, did you see a lot of this game, the Liverpool Wolves?
I only saw the highlights, and what I noticed was 2 things. First of all, they got the runner, a bit of luck in midfield. The ball broke for one of the goals in midfield, Liverpool. But I believe that you make your own luck. And the way they challenged for the ball, it ran from. They had 2 ricochets and it went. But the amount of times they beat a goalkeeper from 3 yards out, their running, their timing of runs into the box is superb. You shouldn't forget that. That's not a coincidence they score goals like that.
And their delivery as well. The delivery is great.
Fantastic delivery, absolutely. Some of those crosses from White, and with Arsenal, we wait till there's 10 men in the box before defenders in the box, or we cross it. They don't wait for that. They just get it down and put it in. Like 3 or 4, you've got every chance. Especially if you're on the front foot as a forward, you've got every chance of getting that ball. And if you get it, you've got every chance of scoring. And that's what's so good about Liverpool. They had a rookie goalkeeper in, made a really good save. It wouldn't have made any difference to the score probably, but it's interesting, very interesting. So Liverpool have got some bad injuries, long-term injuries.
They are
chugging along. Long may it survive this season. That's all I'll say. For obvious reasons. All right.
Yeah. No. At the end of the day, that's Liverpool's kind of good form, despite all their injuries, is the one thing that's making. I think us all believe that there's only one place only one going to win the league, and it certainly isn't a team that not far away from us. So that is one good thing about it. Actually, last season I didn't want Liverpool to win the league because that was the one thing we had over them, didn't it? A Premier League title. But now they've won it, they might as well win it again this year as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, what did you make of that game, Albert? Did you watch much of it?
Funny enough, that's probably the one game of the weekend I didn't actually get to see. But in terms of the fullback thing you're talking about, people go, "Oh, but Liverpool create from wide areas." I said, "Yeah, but the thing you got to understand is one thing getting wide. It's the quality of you get into the box. I mean, I think even last year, I looked at their stats like Robertson and Trent alone. I don't know if Trent played yesterday, but they had 20 in the Premier League, 23 assists from your fullbacks. 23. And just those two players alone. So it's not just about getting wide and getting balls into the box, it's the quality that you're getting into the box.
Yeah,
and we're trying to emulate that, but the problem is there's only one side of the picture we're really good at in terms of final delivery, and that's from obviously Kieran Tierney, because we ain't going to get it from Bellerin.
Plus, as well, we haven't got the. I mean, me and Mel were talking about it before. We don't have the strikers in the box that make the most of those opportunities in the way that Liverpool's front three do. They make sure they get on the end of them, don't they? They know where the cross is going to go. Whether it's a low cross whipped in, they know where to be. If it's a higher cross, they know they're attacking the ball. Our strikers aren't doing that. They're not anticipating.
You know what it is, Rich? Because our strikers don't flip and move. That's why they're static.
Exactly, you said that.
Lazy.
Yeah, they're on the back foot.
Lazy.
On the back foot the whole time.
Very.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I mean, Andrew just put a point in about the COVID thing before. They'll actually have to fail tests. Well, yeah, they will have to fail tests, but it's not hard to fail a test, is it? When you look at how many people have tested positive. So I don't know, but anyway. And Hussein said that Burnley are coming to break another record from 1974. Last time they.
Oh my God. It's funny, you know what? Because the funny thing is, we want to get wide and get crosses into the box, but we don't have that focal point up front.
I tell you what, we don't have.
Yeah, and it'd be meat and drink to the Burnley defenders, man.
And big lads, the two big lads.
What we don't have is a like a Giroud type centre forward, maybe, who would get on the end of those presses. It's funnily enough, talking about Giroud, the next game I wanted to come on to is this one. I mean, Giroud just scored 5 goals in a week. That's more than we've scored in the last 3 months.
It's mad. Absolutely madness. I know. Honestly.
And it seems strange. I mean, me and Mel didn't touch on it before that. We now seem to be playing a system, or Arteta wants to play a system, get loads and loads of crosses into the box. And we haven't got a player like Giroud. When we had Giroud, we didn't put crosses in the box for him. And now we don't have him, we're putting crosses in the box for him, and he's not there.
It is madness. It is, mate. It is. I can't explain it, mate.
I mean, Chelsea, to be fair, are looking a good side, aren't they? They've got great players, especially in the attacking third. And, you know, I thought Leeds gave them a good go, actually.
Yeah, it's good game.
Another goal. He's on fire, Bamford, isn't he? I mean, if you can, that Bielsa, to get a tune out of Bamford to that degree in the Premier League, I mean, that's incredible, that, because he's not the greatestly gifted footballer, is he? No. But he scored, 7-8 goals in the Premier League?
Yeah, he's done a great
decent goals as well. I like Leeds. One of my best friends supports Leeds. And I follow them quite. If they're on the box, if they're on the box, I make sure I watch it. And I've watched them play, and some of his goals have been amazing. Bamford, they're not
great finishes. Yeah.
One touch, bang.
He took his goal well against Chelsea as well. He took it round Akita and rolled it in. It was just, he's just having a great season, isn't he? And I agree with you, Melvin. I think Leeds are a good side to watch. They play good football, attractive football, and they're unpredictable as well. They're not, they don't play in I mean, it is probably a set pattern to Bielsa, but when you're watching it as a neutral, it doesn't seem to be a set pattern. There's players popping up all over the place. Dallas, I never know what position Dallas is meant to play in, because he's just everywhere. He'll appear at left back 1 minute, then he's centre forward, then he's right midfield. It's like, where do you play? He's just everywhere. But that's what they do. They're very interchangeable, aren't they? And they must be a difficult team to play against. I know they cause us a lot of problems, and they cause Chelsea a lot of problems. And in the end, Chelsea managed to get the win because Chelsea have got good quality attacking players.
They got a player who used to play for us. I don't think he ever played in the first team. He looks quite decent, the Leeds player. He plays like right backish.
Luke Ayling, yeah.
That's it, him. He looks decent when I've seen him play.
Yeah, he's good, yeah.
He's strong, he's fast, he's aggressive, God dear me. He'd easily get an outside now, wouldn't he? Let's face it.
He's got a good delivery from wide areas as well. He puts
whips it in, yeah.
Yeah, no, he does. He's impressed me actually, Luke Ayling. I mean, most Leeds players have actually. They've probably been the best team to watch this season so far. But having said that, they're only at 1 point above us, so they still need to win more games to be, make sure they're going to be safe in the Premier League. So I don't know. He's not going to change his style, is he, Bill? So it's the way he is, and it is a breath of. It's been a breath of fresh air. We're a team that's come up and playing on the front foot against everybody. They don't care who they play. They played Chelsea away. They've played Liverpool away. They had a go at them, and they're just going for it. Man City at home. They went for it against Man City at home. They went for it against us. And I know we had 10 men for a lot of that game, but even so, and they've just got no fear, and it's great to see actually. And I really hope that they stay up because they've been great for the Premier League, haven't they, this season, Leeds? And I hope they do stay up, and I hope that they can stay in the Premier League for a long time because I'd rather see a team like Leeds come up than maybe some of these other teams that literally just play to try not to lose 4-0 every week. Fulham, for example, and teams like that. So I'd rather see teams like Leeds come in the Premier League and actually go for it and entertain us because, Andrew said there, Ayling went to Yeovil. Well, there you go.
Really?
Yeah.
He went to Yeovil. No, I didn't know that either. Actually, I didn't know where he went after Arsenal because he didn't really play for Arsenal at all, did he? He looked at one of them young players at the time where there's a lot of them coming through and none of them really made it. And he obviously disappeared and ended up at Leeds, and he's doing great, isn't he, as we said. So fair play to him because I think he's had a great season, as you said, Melvin. He would walk into our team now, but then pretty much every right back in the Premier League.
A lot of right backs have walked into our team,
pretty much. And all the right backs in the Championship, all the right backs in League One, they'd all walk into our team at the minute, wouldn't they? So let's not get too carried away about it. But no, I mean, to be fair, he's done well, Luke Ayling, and sometimes it just goes to show, you can be rejected by one of the so-called big clubs, and you can still make a decent career for yourself if you get your head down and you work hard, and that's what he's done. So I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. Moving on next, then the next game I wanted to look at was a team that have been we've almost been comparing ourselves to them, but we've got to maybe forget that because they're actually miles ahead of us now. I mean, we beat Man United a few weeks ago, and that didn't look a great result because they were terrible, and they've been terrible at home. But they've won every single away game after going behind.
Incredible record.
They scored 3 goals at West Ham in about 10 minutes. They've done that in virtually every away game. I mean, it's just. I'm sure. I know the first goal. We need to talk about that. The goal kick from Henderson, which clearly went out.
I couldn't believe that wasn't given. I couldn't believe it, Rich, mate. Honestly. No. Because when they showed the angle with the ball coming towards you, even David Moyes, to be fair to him, before the goal actually happened, he's looking at the official saying that ball's clearly gone out. Yeah. Clearly gone out.
Yeah.
I can't believe they looked at that and said it was all right.
No. I saw the first half. I watched live the first half, and to me, West Ham could have been 2 or 3 up easily.
Yeah, absolutely, Mel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yet again, Man
United, they smell blood, don't they? They seem to have this thing of, right, we're getting beat. They get a little bit of luck or get a goal. All of a sudden, they go from 2nd gear to 4th gear. We can't do that. No. They seem to, bang, that's it. Let's go for it, boys. And they hit them in waves. And they are a good attacking team. It's like an old machine. It takes some time to get going. But once they get going, they're very difficult to defend against.
But away from home, at home, they're struggling like we are at home. But away from home is where they can be free. And they're playing on a counter-attack. They've got the pace and they've got the quality. And it's working for them at the moment. I mean, I think they've won 9 away games in a row in the Premier League going back into last season as well, which is a club record. It's a club record. And all those great teams that Man United have had over the years, all those league title winning teams never won 9 away games in a row. This Man United team, let's face it, they're not a great side, are they? They're an all right side. They're a good side. They've got some good players. But for them to get 9 away wins in a row in the Premier League is just unbelievable. It's
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because with Man United's last 2 league games, I think it was Southampton, wasn't it? Southampton West Ham had chances to kill their games off, man.
Yeah.
And with United, they cannot play well. It's not so much not to do with Solskjaer, it's because they've got so much individual brilliance and moments that allowed them to win the games. I must say, Rich, I know we're obviously Arsenal fans, but for me, Mason Greenwood, man, that guy is a serious talent. He's natural finisher. He's incredible. That goal summed it up. He scored on the weekend. I mean, what a first touch and the finish.
Yeah,
serious talent, man. Serious footballer.
No, exactly. And I mean, I know he's maybe had a few issues outside of football, hasn't he, going on in his life and stuff. And I think if he can nail down, get his head down, he's going to be a hell of a player for England, isn't he?
Absolutely.
You know, he could be. He's something special already. And, you know, there are a lot of good young English players actually knocking around the Premier League now. And the good thing is a lot of them now are playing regularly for big clubs. You know, before they were maybe loaned out and not played much. When they went into the Championship or went abroad and didn't get noticed. Whereas now, you know, Man United have got 2 or 3 playing. We've got 2 or 3 playing. Tottenham have got 2 or 3 playing. You know, Liverpool have got 1 or 2. There's a lot of the younger players now are playing more regularly in the Premier League clubs. And you can see that in a few years' time, England, if we get the right coach in place, could actually have a really good side.
Absolutely.
3 or 4 years, couldn't we? You know, we could really challenge and win something big if we get the right coach to bring them on properly. But we'll see. But yeah, there's some great young English players. Obviously, Mason Greenwood is one of the best. He is potentially. He's got it all, hasn't he? Yeah. You know, he's got pace, he's got strength, he can finish. He's just a great all-round player. He just needs to get his head right, I think, and then he could be unstoppable, really. And you know, there seems to be, I say, a lot of them around at the minute, which is good. It's good to watch, and it's going to be good for the England national team, hopefully, as well.
Can I bring this optimism down a bit, boys? Can I just bring it down a little bit? Brighton are winning 1-0.
Oh my God!
That means we're 16th currently. We're currently 16th in the league, guys.
That's all I'll say here.
We're 2 places above the relegation zone.
Oh my God!
Wow.
A long way to go yet.
It's nearly Christmas. It's nearly Christmas, and we're 16th in the Premier League. I've never known that in my life.
I've never seen that, mate. Never.
Nah. Well,
I know we've not played as many games as usual by this point, but even so, that is shocking, actually.
Yeah, it is.
The thing is, we've scored. Is it 11 goals in 10 games or something? What have we scored?
Yeah. 10 in 11. We scored 10 in 11.
10 in 11 games, and the first game we scored 4. So work that out. That's how bad we are.
Yeah.
I think Sheffield United last season scored. I think they said they scored 38 goals in the Premier League. Like scored as many goals as games. I mean, their trouble obviously scoring goals, obviously, which is the main issue for them. But they've been found out, haven't they? That's why they're struggling a bit at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was going to move on to them next anyway, mainly because obviously the difference for me in the teams that are potentially got a chance of finishing in the top 4 and the ones that haven't, like us, is the fact that they find a way to win games.
Absolutely.
Leicester found a way to win this game. It's a game they should have won because Sheffield United are struggling, but Sheffield United played well again. But they can't take their chances. But Leicester found a way to win that game, and that's the difference, isn't it? You know, we're not playing well, and we're not finding ways to win games. And Leicester have an off day. Yes, I know they've had a couple of poor results. They got hammered against Liverpool, didn't they, the other week and stuff like that. But they are able to pick up results on a consistent basis when they don't always play well. And they found a way to win this game. Vardy again against Sheffield United. He loves scoring against them, doesn't he? Being a Wednesday fan.
It's a typical Vardy goal, wasn't it? On the shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Away, bang. Absolutely fantastic. He is.
Really good. He is. He's a great player. A great goal scorer in the Premier League. I mean, I never actually thought he would ever. When I first saw him playing the Premier League, when Leicester first came up, he thought he's all right, but he's never going to be a consistent, regular goal scorer in the Premier League. But I mean, his goal scoring record's been amazing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
For 5-6 years now, he is unbelievable, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down, does he? I mean, his pace to get away with that goal, just unbelievable. I mean, he's winning his
scrap, doesn't he? He does feed on scrap sometimes.
Yeah,
he does himself. So
it definitely helps that he's not in England set up anymore, so it just prolongs his career, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's probably. I think that's why he kind of stood away, because he was never going to get picked ahead of Harry Kane much, was he?
Yeah.
He was coming on and getting the odd game here and there, and I think he made the right decision for him. and it's proving to be the case because he won the Golden Boot last year. He's going to be in with a chance again this year, isn't he? Because he just scores goals. That's just what he does. And that goal yesterday summed it up, didn't it? Just summed up what Jamie Vardy is all about. You play a ball in behind, he'll get there, and 9 times out of 10 he puts them in because he's a great finisher. And you look at, we nearly signed him, didn't we? You look at players like that, and you think, if we had somebody like that in our team, would we be where we are? We probably wouldn't be. That's the one thing we seem to be lacking, and yet we've got Aubameyang, who technically is scores as many goals as Vardy, or he has done up until this season.
Yeah,
so,
true.
I don't know. I just find it all. I'm just struggling to understand where it's all gone wrong for us. And you're looking at other teams in the Premier League this season, and making progress, and they are making progress. And we technically should be making progress because we've got a young coach with apparently good ideas. We've brought a couple of decent players into the team, and you're looking at teams like Leicester, and they're miles ahead of us, aren't they? Where they are, where they're playing.
Yeah. Do you think, gentlemen, that Vardy in the present setup would score as many goals for Arsenal as Leicester? I don't think so.
No.
Leicester got far better midfield, quicker to push the ball through.
Yeah.
The wingers can actually cross the ball.
Yeah.
I don't think he get anywhere near the goals he would get at Arsenal. Sorry.
No, Mills, you're right, because if you look at some of the setups of the teams, like Leicester have got Maddison. For example, United, Aubameyang will be crying out for someone like a Fernandes. His vision and his passing ability is insane.
Yeah.
But we don't have anyone in the midfield like that.
We don't, and that's a big, massive. That's been a big problem for a while. We've known that, but having said that as well, we touched on it earlier. Our strikers aren't working hard enough to make the most of the opportunities, the rare opportunities that come along. I mean, Melvin just said there, Jamie Vardy often feeds off scraps, and he does. But every time he gets a scrap, he's ready for it, and he takes the most amount of opportunities that he can. Yeah. Whereas our strikers at the moment, they're getting scraps as well, and they're just sitting back and letting the scrap go because they just almost as though they can't be bothered. And that's the difference. And with Vardy's attitude, I think he probably would score more goals than we're currently scoring. Would he score as many as he is for Leicester? Probably not. But he'd certainly score more goals for Arsenal than Aubameyang's been scoring and Lacazette have been scoring, because he makes a half chance into a chance because of how much energy he puts into it. And that's why I'm not doing that.
Rich, you make a good point. This is what I say when I sort of if you want to call it criticism of Aubameyang. Yes, you can argue the toss about service, but I mean, I played as a forward when I played football at semi-professional level, and yes, there'd be games where you get loads of chances. There'd be games you get one chance. Some games you get half a chance. Sometimes you've got to make your own chance. And for me, as many people say, apart from, yes, he's an elite goal scorer, but he doesn't do much else. He doesn't work hard enough. He doesn't. It's all well putting it in the semi-final with an FA Cup or a final in one-off games, but he doesn't do much else, and that's the issue.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not.
I had this conversation the other night, right after Giroud had scored them 4 goals in the Champions League for Chelsea. Yeah, and I know a lot of people won't agree, but I actually think Giroud is a better all-round footballer than Aubameyang. He's a better all-round footballer because he's got everything. Yeah. His touch, his work rate, his strength, his aerial ability. Yes, he's maybe very left-footed and his right foot's not up to much, but then you don't see Aubameyang using his left foot that much. But I think overall, as an overall footballer, I think Giroud's a better player. Even now, they're similar age. Giroud's a little bit younger, actually, I think, isn't he? They're a similar sort of age.
Yeah.
They're a similar sort of age anyway. But I think Giroud's a better all-round player.
You could be right. And also, I think what people don't notice is Aubameyang's first touch sometimes is very poor.
Yeah,
very poor. Yeah, absolutely.
No one mentions that because you can't do that. You can't talk about Aubameyang in that type of thing. But I look at him sometimes. I think that would have been a great chance, mate, if you'd have just put it a yard or so in front of you instead of 4 yards. It just runs away.
But you look at Giroud's first touch. 9 times out of 10, it's spot on, isn't it?
It sticks. Yeah. It sticks. Yeah, every time
he brings people into the game a lot better, Giroud. Those one-time flicks, even the penalty, the cup final against us that he made that goal. The lovely back flick. Yeah. Beautiful.
It's like, even when he plays for, even as good as France are and like the talented players they've got, they play to his strengths, and Griezmann loves playing with him. It's no coincidence Deschamps sticks with him loyally. I mean, Lacazette hasn't got a look in the French squad for about 3 years.
No.
That's right.
And Giroud he scores every game for France at the moment, doesn't he? Giroud, he's on. He doesn't even get a game for Chelsea that regular, and yet for France he scores, world champions. He's playing regular, scoring goals for fun for them. And when he gets a chance at Chelsea, he scores. I mean, yes, I think Andrew said there that he's 34. Okay, I mean, I thought he was a bit younger than that, but I mean, what Aubameyang's 32, isn't he? So they're not far off in age, actually. I suppose, but I mean, Giroud is reaching the end of his career, and I'm not saying we should sign him back or anything like that, but it was just a point I just noticed from watching him play recently that I think as an all-round player, I think he's a better footballer. He's got a better footballing brain, and I just think he's got a better touch. Aubameyang's probably a better finisher, maybe, but I think overall Giroud's a better footballer. But anyway, I suppose that's a different discussion. Who's saying the most expensive season tickets are 16th? Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that. the facts are there, Russ from before, I was talking about some of the other players. They've got the right mentality. They have players that complement each other. We seem to have players, no idea or no desire. Yeah, to a degree, I would say that's true. But I agree with it. The complementing each other a bit. We're not playing players that seem to complement each other. Maybe Saka and Tierney is about the only partnership that we've got that do seem to complement each other. Everywhere else on the pitch, I don't see that happening. The players don't seem to work together particularly. Well, maybe El Neni and Partey did in that game at Man United, and if they play more regular together, that might become two that can complement each other. I don't even think Lacazette and Aubameyang complement each other that well on the pitch when they're playing.
No, they don't at all, mate.
When they celebrate a goal, that's when they complement each other. But I think a lot of our players, when they receive the ball, they're static. They receive it facing the wrong way or facing square. They never seem to be getting a ball running onto a ball. And that's easy to defend against. And yet we all seem to do it. The only thing is Tierney does it okay, and Saka can do it okay. The rest of them, forget about it.
I just saw Andrew's
off to church.
It open.
So as also about Aubameyang should be dropped. If we play Balogun, it will send out a strong message to the whole squad. Yeah,
he's not the only one that should be dropped. In all fairness, is he?
No, he's not. No,
drop him, but there should be others as well.
And Hussein thinks that if we lose to Burnley, Arteta will be sacked. I don't know it'll be quite that quickly, but if we lose to Burnley, that's a massive, massive problem. A massive problem, isn't it? When you look at where Burnley are in the league, how much they've struggled this season. But anyway, I mean, we'll come on to their game actually in a minute. But I did want to briefly look at this game. Oh, Albert's dropped out. Is he coming
dropped
back?
Out a second before. He'll be back.
I think his signal. Yeah, I think his signal just dropped out. Or maybe he has gone to church, as Andrew said. Maybe that's where he's gone.
Might be a 9 o'clock start. 9 o'clock service.
Oh, he's back again. Is he back again? Oh, he's back again. Albert's back.
Yeah, the connection's playing rubbish at the moment. Yeah, sorry, mate.
No worries. We just wondered where you'd gone. We thought you'd had enough of us.
I saw the topic.
We thought you'd gone to church, like Andrew said.
No. I was trying to go on the Friday before the Tottenham game.
I mean, what you need, right, when you're struggling a little bit, is home games consecutive weeks against Burnley and Fulham. Why do Man City get that sort of treatment? No one else does, do they? Liverpool moan about the fixtures, but who came up with a good idea? Let Man City play at home to Burnley, who they thrash every single season, and at home to Fulham, one of the worst teams in the Premier League. I mean, who came up with that as a sensible fixture, a run of fixtures? Just doesn't happen, does it? I mean, it's a sort of run of fixtures that we could do. I mean, I know we've got Burnley at home next week, but then we've got Southampton, so we haven't got two easy games. Easy games for us at the minute, but we haven't got two fixtures like that. I mean, Man City won this game comfortably, and they should have scored a few more goals again, but they just had two of the most easiest fixtures for them they could possibly have ever imagined in a row. Liverpool, Klopp must be absolutely furious at that. He's moaned about the fixtures enough, hasn't he? I'm surprised no one asked him about that. They've just had them two home games as well at home. I mean, why have they had two home games like that? It's just randomly.
Yeah, it is.
It just seems crazy, doesn't it? But anyway,
I thought Fulham done all right,
Yeah,
All right.
I think Fulham have done all right. They made some good signings actually before the season started.
Do you think we would have beaten both teams though? If we
Well, we wouldn't have. I'm pretty sure Liverpool would.
I don't think we would have.
Well, we'll see next week, won't we? We've got one of them next week.
We will.
On Sunday.
We're the late game again, aren't we? I think we're quarter past. Is it quarter past 7?
You
know me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, which we've lost every single time we've played at that time. Russ seems to think that it could be the end for Arteta if we lose to Burnley.
Don't agree, Russ. Don't agree, Russ.
We'll see.
I don't think it will be.
Yeah, I think we don't tend to sack people quickly, do we? We gave Emery maybe. Everybody knew he should have gone maybe 3 or 4 weeks before he did, and we hung on to him until eventually we had to do it. And will we do the same with Arteta? Will we give him till January? Have they got plans for the January window? Is Ozil going? Are we bringing in a couple of players? Are they waiting for that and see? But I don't know. But losing at home to Burnley, that would be
wow.
On top of what we've had already, that would be an absolute disaster, wouldn't it? Yeah, look at Fulham. Yeah, they've got a couple of good players. They got Loftus-Cheek as well, didn't they, on loan from Chelsea?
Yeah.
He's a decent player. You know, I think that they've got some good players in, and I think they might survive. Actually, Fulham. I think they might do. I mean,
you reckon?
We need to maybe look at the relegation zone soon because we're going to be in it. So Fulham are a team we need to finish above this season. So I'm quite glad Man City beat them, actually, looking at it, because they might have done us a bit of a favour. And obviously, ahead of our game on Sunday, Burnley now look as though they may actually be picking up a little bit of form. I mean, they played pretty well in this game, I thought. I saw bits and pieces of it. They scored an early goal, and we know what Burnley are like. They've got big guys up front. They put a lot of balls into the box, and they're a dangerous team. And they've caused us problems in the past, haven't they? You know, I don't think Ashley Barnes is playing at the minute, but he caused us problems. And just their style of play is always. I know we've got Gabriel in defence now, which might help us, a bit more physicality in there. But I thought Burnley played well, actually. Everton are not doing so well at the minute, but I think Burnley's going to be a tough game for us. I think they showed now that they've maybe turned the corner a little bit, you know, with their injuries they had, and obviously they couldn't score goals before. And a draw against Everton is a decent result for them, actually. And they're going to come next week with a lot of confidence, I think.
Yeah, you know what? With Burnley, it's weird. They do pick up some really good results in the last 2-3 years. When you think they're going to possibly be in trouble for relegation, I actually think Sean Dyche won't be there at the end of the season, if I'll be honest. I think he's taken them as far as he probably can. He's had no backing to buy any players at all. So he's working with miracles, really, with the group of players we've really got. But yeah, Burnley, I don't know if they can pull it off this season, but I don't know, the last few seasons where we think they're dead and buried and they could potentially go down, they do pull some good results out. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And as for Everton, it's weird, isn't it? When after they started, the first 12 points out of 12, first 4 games, after that, just fallen off a bit of a cliff, really.
Yeah, they have, and I'm not quite sure why, because I still think they've got a very good side. They've got some very good players, and it's not quite happened for them, has it, since the start there? They were flying at the start of the season, and now they're struggling to get results, I guess. But I don't know. I do still think they've got the potential to challenge for the top 4 with the squad that they've got. But at the moment, I mean, what have you been making of Everton and Burnley, Melvin? Obviously, we've got Burnley next anyway, so.
I think, well, to start with Everton, they got some fabulous players. I mean, I like the Brazilian on the wing who came from Watford. He's a fantastic, aggressive player. Richarlison. He's a quality player. I mean, when they paid 40 million for him, I thought, what are they doing? But he's worth so much more now. He's a really, really good player. Defensively, I'm not too sure about Keane at the back. Great centre half. He played for him. They made him a well beater. I'm not sure about him at all. And what about the one they got from? He used to play for Real Madrid, Rodriguez. You don't hear a lot of him the last few weeks. Has his form a lot then?
He was injured.
He was being talked about. The buy the century.
Yeah.
So it's just that, it's a lot with momentum with teams, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you
100%.
lose that bit of momentum, it just changes everything. One thing might have happened, they just can't get back to it. And he's struggling, the manager. We've talked about this manager. He's obviously a very good manager, great record, and he can't get him to do it. But I'm sure by the end of the season, I think he'll get him back on the right track. With Burnley, they're a tough northern club, and that is what they are. That sums them up. They couldn't put. If you look at them, with whatever colours they got on, you can tell they come from the north of England when you watch them play. And I remember, you didn't know you're watching. It's that type of team. The centre half, Tchaikovsky or something, he's built so strong, isn't it? And they nearly lost in the West Ham this year because West Ham had opened the door.
Yeah,
there's only about £8 million difference, I think. But it's he's so strong. I'm not saying he's great, but he's big and strong, and he'll eat up. And if we start with crosses again against him, then forget it. I'm sorry, we mustn't do the old crosses in the air with this Burnley defence because they just mop them up. And they've got a very good left wing for Burnley that puts beautiful crosses in for himself.
Oh, well, is that Dwight McNeil? Is it or Brady?
Dwight McNeil. Yeah, he's a good player.
Very
good. We should buy Burnley's forwards if we can.
Yes.
Goals. Yeah, Burnley's forwards on the end of them crosses, definitely, because that's what we don't have. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game on Sunday. Usually Burnley at home is a guaranteed win. We've beaten them every time we've played them at home.
Yeah.
Since they first came back to the Premier League all them years ago. So, but this is one season where I'm not feeling it's going to perhaps be quite as straightforward as it has been before, because we're just struggling at home, and Burnley will come to do a job on us, won't they? Because that's what they'll do. And I don't know. I'm a bit concerned about that game. The last game that we haven't mentioned yet was quite an interesting game, I thought, for a number of reasons, actually. I mean, did you guys see that red card for that West Brom player?
Oh, Rich, I'm glad you brought it up. I couldn't. To me, I thought that was a poor decision.
Yeah,
poor decision. I did not. That was not a sending off. I'm sorry.
No.
He's falling onto the ground. His momentum of his feet is gonna come up. Van Aanholt done him, man, like a kipper, mate. I'm sorry. That was not a sending off.
No, I didn't think it was either. Did you see that, Melvin?
Yeah, I saw it. I watched the first bit of the game, then I went upstairs, came down, and on the radio I heard that there was a disputed penalty. And when I saw it and then saw it again, it was a soft sending off, don't get me wrong. But I don't think the geezer on the deck was 100% innocent, like you say. I think there was a little bit of movement there. It was a little bit like Beckham in the World Cup, wasn't it? A little with the old legs pick up. I think, listen, these footballers are very fit. They know what they're doing. Their brain and their feet are one. And he could have not done that, in my opinion. But it was a stupid thing to do, in my opinion. And it was a very, very soft sending off. The referee could have used common sense and went, none of that. You're getting booked. You go do anything like that again, you're off. That's common sense, but we don't get that in life. We don't get that in football. So I think it was soft, but I think he has to take a little bit of it's a little bit to the geezer who got sent off. He has to take a bit of responsibility there, in my opinion. It wasn't. It just went down, and the geezer fell on his legs, and then he had to get sent off. No, not that at all. No. It wasn't like the era.
The referee went to the screen, though, didn't he? The referee went to the screen and looked at it again because he booked him first, didn't he? And then he was told to go to the screen. When you see that in slow motion on the screen, you can't send him off. You can't.
When I looked at it, I didn't see any forward motion to do it. That's what I saw. I didn't see that. I thought Van Aanholt got up very quickly after that incident. I don't think he was in as much pain as he made out, mate.
No.
Oh no, that's certain. That's right. Yeah, but at the same time, I thought there was a slight bit of because he just fouled him, hadn't he?
Yeah.
I think it was a reaction, like even not a subliminal reaction, if you like. He didn't mean to do him, but he's like, he just a little bit, and it gave the referee a chance to make, in my opinion, the wrong decision.
Yeah.
So I think
I hear that.
Yeah. I mean, what Russ has said there, I disagree. Crystal Palace aren't our rivals. West Brom are. That's who we need to be worried about. West Brom, not Crystal Palace. They're miles away. And you said there, if Pepe's was sending off, so was that. Well, I don't know. I think Pepe's was a bit more obvious.
Yeah, I think that was a bit more obvious, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was a bit more obvious, but I mean, they were both maybe slightly soft, I suppose. But the one for West Brom, I thought that was never a red card. And I on the screen, how he still gave it, I don't know. It was madness. But anyway, in the end, of course, it was Zaha had a great game, didn't he? Scored 2 goals. Now, after since we've been linked with him the other last summer, and obviously we could have maybe bought him, and you look at what he's doing for Crystal Palace. In what you have to say is not as good a side as the players that we've got, I don't think. But yet here he is, scored 7 goals this season now in the Premier League, 7, which is almost as many as we've scored as a whole team. You can't tell me he wouldn't have improved our side if we'd got him.
You know what it is, Rich and Mel's with Zaha's a weird one, because I look at and people will go he plays at Palace, but I kind of think, you know what, as you're the go-to man, the talisman, your figures and your stats should be sort of you're responsible for that in terms of your output. But I sort of look at his goals return, for example, I think he's not. I don't think it's that great personally the last however many years he's been playing in the Premier League. But one thing I will give him credit for is he is aggressive. And he does get you up the pitch. I think he should score a lot more goals, personally. And ironically, I think it's probably if you count on.
Oh, is that what froze, or is it me?
He's frozen.
He's frozen. Okay, maybe drop out if you can hear us. Maybe drop out and come back in because you froze. But Andrew said we couldn't afford Zaha. No, we probably couldn't actually. But anyway, we can't afford many players, really, can we? Not if we've got as Andrew said there, pay it in one go. Yeah, if we can pay it on the old TikTok.
Never. Right? Yeah, well, never.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we're never going to. And Andrew seems to think that he was a sending off letter. He stupidly kicked out. Well, I don't know. I thought it was harsh, personally. Oh, let's see if we can get Albert back in again. Oh, here he comes. Let's see if his internet's a little bit better now. Are you're back again?
You know what? Because I, Rich, as you know, I'm in Essex at the moment, but I'll be moving back to South East London. So I'll have a better internet connection. Trust me.
Whereabouts in Essex are you at the moment? It's gone. I'm an Essex man.
Yeah, so am I. Whereabouts are you from, Mel?
Clayhall at the moment.
Ah.
Where are you?
Well, I'm not anymore. I was born and brought up in Romford, Hornchurch.
Oh, well, I was brought up in Ilford.
Ah.
That's where my parents' house was, in Ilford.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I know the area well. Zaha would score goals in a better side. Yeah, I agree. He'd score more goals in a better side. Of course he would, yeah. And pay your internet bills, Albert, yeah. And as you said, did you wear white stilettos, man? Well, no. That's a bit harsh, isn't it? That's a bit harsh.
No, but I got a nice handbag that I put on the floor when I dance.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Hollywoods, they were the days in Hollywoods. You remember that? Do you remember Hollywood?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
He used to be up the road to me, that. And Ilford Palais actually was quite a decent place to go back in the day, wasn't it? Ilford Palais, we used to go there quite a lot at one time.
Yeah,
that used to be good. Yeah.
Room at the top there was as well.
Yeah.
That turned into a casino at one stage before they changed the laws. It was a casino for years. Room at the top.
What was that? What's that place? That's not far from there. Faces, yeah. Faces, that's the place.
Something else years ago before it was Faces.
Yeah, you get a few. You see a few faces in there as well, don't you?
You do, yeah. Some you do want to see, some you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Melvin at the Disco 2000. Yeah, giving it some shapes on the dance floor. So you get to Sugar Hut. I used to live around the corner from Sugar Hut, actually. Before it was a Sugar Hut, it used to be called the White Hart. It used to be a pub called the White Hart. I used to live around the corner from there, and then it became a Sugar Hut, and now it's full of dickheads. It used to be all right, actually, but anyway. Never mind.
Were you in Essex? Albert at the moment. Whereabouts in Essex?
Good old Romford, Mel.
Oh, because I was just saying I was brought up in Ilford.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going back to my root.
Whereabouts in Romford are you, Albert?
Oh God, in between Harold Hill and Gidea Park.
Really? I used to live in Harold Hill.
Yeah. I'll be heading back to my roots though, man. South East London, mate.
Yeah, get out of Essex. It's no good for you, Essex.
Go and reacquaint with some of my Millwall mates.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
they've had an interesting weekend as well, haven't they? Millwall?
Yeah, you could say that, mate. Yeah, you could.
Yeah. Jesus, it's all kicking off in Millwall, isn't it? But,
yeah, that could be another 3 hour. That could be a 3 hour one and all.
Yeah. Ray Parler's neck of the woods. Yeah, Ray Parler used to live Harold Wood, actually, quite close to where I used to live, actually. Ray Parler. And Tony Adams as well, actually. I've got a story about Tony Adams because he used to live quite close to me when I was a kid. And there was one day, me and my mate were going out on a Saturday night into Romford. So we was waiting at the bus stop, the 174 bus it was going from Dagenham to Romford, right? We see this guy walking up the road, and me and my mate are thinking, I recognise him. And it was Tony Adams, and he was getting on the same bus as us. This would have been about 1983, 82. He was just on the brink of playing in the first team. We'd seen him play for the reserves and the youth team and stuff like that. And yeah, he was off on a night out in Romford. He got on the same bus as us.
Funny, isn't it?
You wouldn't see that nowadays, would you? You wouldn't see that nowadays.
Football, yeah.
But yeah, unbelievable, really. Oh, well, let's wait till Albert comes back and find out whereabouts in South East London he's going. But I don't know. Obviously, he's not paid his internet bill, has he? Quite clearly, because he's not coming back. But we'll see if he comes back in a minute. Colchester United. Actually, yeah, they were, weren't they? Because the Colchester owner was going on in the news today when he's saying that them fans aren't welcome back. But there's only 2,000 allowed in at the minute, so you can't be too choosy, mate. I'm afraid.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, I mean, the whole thing's kind of. I've got to be honest. I was quite surprised that with fans back in the stadium that they carrying on doing it. I thought they did it because there was no fans in to have that reaction. It was obvious that somewhere you was going to get a reaction from fans. It was obvious that you would, because it's caused a lot of divided opinion, hasn't it? Since they started doing it, so it was obvious that there was going to be some reaction when the fans were in the stadium, and I'm surprised that they've let it carry on. I always back. There was a question, Andrew, from Andrew for you. Whereabouts in South East London are you?
Beautiful New Cross, mate. Bang, right near the mid, right, not far from the old den. Oh God, I'll tell you that was something else. And about a 15-minute walk from the new den.
Wow.
I've been to the new den when it was playing the cup a long time ago.
Oh, that's a long. Yeah, God.
Did you go to the old den? Did you go to the old den, Mel? Did you go there?
No, not the old one. It's the new one.
Yeah, I went to both. The old ground was absolutely. They had like spikes on the fences, didn't it, around the pitch? It was crazy.
Yeah, them days, Rich. What Tony Cass was playing, Keith Stephen, Jimmy Carter. Yeah, there's some old boys there.
Sheringham must have been playing from an old.
Teddy was playing it. Teddy was there.
Yeah. I think he scored. Did he not score against us one time when they were in the first division? Maybe.
Yeah, and not forgetting Mr. Terry Hurlock. Jeez, I tell you what.
Oh yeah.
What an uncompromising git he was, mate. Oh my God.
Yeah, he liked to tackle, didn't he? That dude.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Terry Hurlock, mate.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. Well, Millwall. Yeah, I went to Millwall the first year they got promoted into the first division, which was the year that we won. We won the league, wasn't it, in '89? And we played them kind of midway through the season, and that was a game where the referee was mic'd up. Do you remember?
I
remember that. Yeah.
When we should have scored, it was disallowed. I was at that game. That was crazy. That, and then I think Brian Marwood scored the winner with a volley.
Brian Marwood. You know what? Millwall actually did pretty. You know what? They was actually on a decent run of form, like going into Christmas. I thought they were top.
They did well, yeah. And then they kind of finished about 10th or something that season. And the next year they got relegated, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was obvious that with that.
Before us, didn't he?
He did. George was there.
Well, it was a lot of his players, wasn't it, that got him promoted in the end.
Mm.
Yeah.
Frank McClinton had something to do with him, I think. I don't know if he was the manager or coach, Frank. Then he also has something to do with Millwall at some stage, I think.
Yeah.
God, those are the days, mate. God, dear.
Oh, they were, yeah.
God, venue still there, mate. Still there. 29 years, 30 years on. That's still there, mate.
The venue in New Cross.
Cool,
my dad's from around that way, like.
Okay.
Catford Lewisham way, yeah, where my dad's from. He lived in Beckenham as well afterwards.
Okay.
That's so my nan lived in Beckenham. Well, when I was growing up, we used to go there quite a lot. We had to drive through South East London to get there and stuff. So I know that area quite well. I mean, I've not been there for years. I don't know what it's like now.
Very, very, very student-like now, mate. Very, absolutely. Yeah, Goldsmith University's there, and a lot more student bars, and like really has changed a lot, really a lot.
I used to go every 2 weeks to a place called Clock House. Have you heard of?
Oh no, where was that? No.
I'm sure that's Beckenham. Clock House.
Oh.
Get it from London Bridge.
Yeah, you're right.
Where Clock House was.
Between 16 and they say 19, I used to go every other week to Clock House to deliver something for my firm and get something stamped. And I remember it was basically, I got out of the station. There was this enormous building. There was a place that sold coal, and that was it. It was like that was the only place there. I mean, it must have been an afterthought, Clock House at that time, but it's probably now grown a little bit. But that was. There
used to be a pub called the Clock House, which must have been obviously where that used to be, because the road where that went from, that's where my nan used to live, down that road, and the Clock House was at the top of the road. Yeah, I spent a lot of time around there, but I mean, this would be going back to my nan died probably 1990, I think, so it would have been sort of in the 80s. Last time I was there, late 1980s probably. But we used to be there quite a lot, going through there around sort of Catford, New Cross, and all around there. Yeah,
because obviously Wrighty went to. I mean, I think Wrighty went to my secondary school. It wasn't the name when I went, but Wrighty went there. I know his son Sean went to Asks, so it's only like literally 5 minutes from when I went to secondary school. It was Hatcham Wood back then. But I think when Ian Wright was there, I think it was Samuel. I'm sure it was Samuel Peets when Wrighty went there. Andrew definitely. I reckon Andrew would definitely know that.
Yeah,
Samuel Peeps, I think it was back then, long time ago.
so this is
Rusty's coming, mate.
It has a little bit actually. It's nice to think back to places that you know, isn't it? It's cool. I mean, I say all them places that I've not been there for years. Like I'd like to go back. Like you said, it would have changed a lot, obviously.
Yeah,
like everywhere's changed. I mean, what's Romford like these days? I bet that's not changed, is it?
Oh, I used to go at Romford a lot, sort of like in my heydays of going out early 20s. But it's just changed. It's changed a little bit. Obviously, you get more shopping complexes, more places to shop and all that. But you get that many area really. So yeah, I don't know if Romford changed that much, to be honest with you.
When were you last in Romford, Richard? How long ago?
I mean, I moved out of Romford in 2001.
Oh, you might know this restaurant then.
Yeah,
There's a restaurant I used to go to called Ming Kul, Chinese restaurant. It was off the radar. It's right by the roundabout. You go past Romford Dogs. Yeah. Romford Dogs is, you keep going, you come to a big roundabout.
Yeah.
And just before you hit the roundabout on the right, Chinese called Ming Kul. It was fantastic.
I don't know where you mean. I don't necessarily remember that place, but I know where you mean. Coming in from Ilford, you mean? Yeah, coming down that road. Yeah. I know where you mean. Yeah, there used to be a good pub along there on the opposite side of the road. We used to go there. I used to play football up the road from there. That used to be our local pub. We went back to afterwards. Can't remember what it was called now. But that was a nice little pub there. Actually, we used to go there after football all the time. That was pretty good. So Andrew said, it must have been called Samuel.
Yeah, that's it. Andrew, don't. Yeah,
used to drink in the Squire where Wrighty used to go. Wow, there you go,
mate. Yeah,
it's a small world, isn't it?
It is.
It's fun, isn't it? Because us four, with Andrew as well, we've kind of been on shows and stuff together and that, and yet we've got a lot more in common than we maybe realise.
I know, it's mad. It is mad.
Which is, it's all pretty cool, really. It's pretty good, isn't it? Do we know what the Brighton score is yet? Now, it's 1-1.
It was 1-1 the last time I saw it.
Yeah, it's 1-1.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're hoping Brighton don't win, so we don't drop down the place in the league. What's it come to? What has it come to? Come on.
I'll tell you what. I'll take their right back though.
Yeah, he's a good player, and he
Yeah, Absolutely.
Actually, Brighton have got a few good players. You know, that I think they're playing some good football this season. Brighton, they've been a bit unlucky that they've not won more games.
Yeah,
probably just as well for us that they haven't, or we would have been 16th already. But I think they play some good football. They've got some good players actually, Brighton, and the guy who he scored, didn't he, last week? He's a decent.
I think we've been linked with Basuma, and I don't know how true them rumours are though.
It'd be good for us, you know, sort of midfield player that we could do if he's a ball winner, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's got energy up and down, up and down. He's one of them sort of players. I actually think he could actually do a good job. Russell's got a good point there as well. I'll take their manager. Well, I'll take him simply because every single time he plays against us, he beats us, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No who he's manager of. Well, it wasn't Welbeck. I was thinking about. It was somebody who scored in their last game. He's a really good player from plays up front.
Is that Neil Maupay? Is it? No,
it's not Maupay. I can't stand him. He's just.
Forget him.
We'll probably end up signing him. So Andy used to go
Samuel for football. Is it? Go on, Andrew, mate.
I don't know. You don't too much about that. Rather have Douglas Luiz. Well, yeah, Douglas Luiz is decent as well.
That's the one I was thinking of. Luiz is good. That's the Villa geezer, isn't it?
Yeah, Villa, yeah.
Strong. He's very good defensively for a midfield player. Who could definitely do with someone like him. And he's not bad going forward either. No, I like him. I do like him. When he played against us at the end of last season, when they beat us 1-0, he destroyed. Well, we ain't got a midfield, but he totally took over at midfield.
He was at Man City, wasn't he, when Arteta was there as well? So Arteta knows him. Yeah. He was at Man City, yeah. I don't think he played in the first team, or he might have made the odd appearance. But yeah, they were at Man City together. So, you know, would be a natural kind of fit for Arsenal to buy Douglas Luiz, I would have thought. But anyway. Lewis Dunk. Not sure about him myself either, but
yeah, playing centre forward. I was watching the going back to, I don't know if you saw the Anton Ferdinand programme.
I haven't yet. I'm going to be watching it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Anyway, the game was like a Chelsea QPR was the game where it all kicked off. Right? It all started. Anyway, Chelsea were big favourites. QPR were near the bottom or whatever, and they beat them, right? And the first goal QPR got was from a penalty, a soft penalty. Guess who gave it away? David Luiz.
Did he?
Stupid challenge. I'm watching the programme going, what a stupid penalty. Then I see that hair come around. Yeah. And it was a stupid penalty.
Wow. I'll be watching that programme. I'm going to watch that. I've got it ready to watch. I just haven't had a chance to sit and watch it yet. But yeah, it'd be interesting anyway. I'm sure it was a good programme. I'm sure it was. Really. It looks interesting.
Yeah, some good points made. And I think I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't watched it, but it's worth looking at the writing that was done the last, the words, the last couple of paragraphs while the music plays. Something came up that is quite interesting and blows a few things out the water. So it's very interesting programme. Very
I'm looking forward to watching it actually. When I've seen it advertised, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to watch that. I've just haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I will be. I mean, it does look interesting and be good to, there's a lot of stuff's gone on in football that you've heard little bits and pieces about. So when they actually feature it in a documentary, it's really good to get the inside story a little bit more, isn't it? Because it's I love all stuff like that. But that's because I'm just nosy, really. So I like to know what's going on. But yeah, so hang on, Russell's put something else in here. What players from teams around us would you buy to get us out of trouble? Yeah, well, we are in trouble. I like the guy from Norwich. I know he's not in the Premier League now. That the Buendia midfield player. I like him.
Rich, there's one player I actually mentioned him. You came on my channel and I was talking about players that I was looking forward to seeing outside of Arsenal play. I mean, we had the kid when he was a youngster, Barry Eze at Crystal Palace.
Yeah, you mentioned him.
Man, trust me, mate, absolute baller.
What's his name?
Barry Eze. He was at QPR last season, Melvs. He did some.
The game, the West Brom.
Yeah, we had him
on that weekend. Yeah, a good game.
Yeah. That's, you know what? Like I said to people, he's 25-30 million pound cheaper than 25-30 million pound cheaper version of Hossim Aouar.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked good, obviously, at the weekend. I'll tell you a player that I like as well that's done well in the Premier League, someone from a smaller club, that Jared Bowen at West Ham.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, he's a good
Very
player.
tricky,
Yeah,
very
good player.
Yeah,
he slaughtered left back for Man United the weekend. A couple of times he went, just left him for dead.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, he'd be good in our team, I think.
Yeah, Eze only cost, I think Palace got what 16 million quid initially and £4 million in add-ons. Bargain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and you're right. I see the comment. I don't get Arsenal. I don't know. I don't know. A player that we don't have at the club: creativity, ball carrier, goals, assists. I don't know, mate.
Yeah. No, we don't tend to very often, do we, buy those sort of players from those sort of clubs? We just don't seem to do it very often, and I don't know why. Because we've seen in the Premier League now, there's a lot of players that have played for maybe smaller clubs that have been signed by a Premier League club and have done well. I say Jared Bowen. We just mentioned him at West Ham. I think he came from Hull, didn't he? Was it Hull?
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah.
And he's done well. Obviously, like you said, Eze at Crystal Palace has done well. The guy from Brentford playing at Aston Villa, Ollie Watkins, Varama, who's gone to West Ham. He's not quite settled in yet, but he looks like he could be a decent player.
Looks sharp. Yeah.
There's lots of players out there, isn't there? That are, Arsenal seem to have to sign these foreign players with fancy names, whereas there's players closer to home that can probably do just as good a job, if not better. And for some reason, we don't seem to go for them. I don't know why.
I think also if you sign a player that's been in the Premiership young and gone down, or hasn't had a chance yet in the top flight, they're hungrier as well. They've got something to prove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they are. Yeah.
I said a year or two ago, when Arsenal buy a player, they ought to look at his ability, his home life, everything about him, but also
character. Yeah,
look at his heart and see if his heart's beating. Because you need players with heart. Because if you ain't got that, it's a big deficit on top of. We're missing that at the moment. We haven't got a lot of players with what I could call a big heart.
No, I agree. And like you said, the hunger that you get from some of these players that, like you said, have been rejected by a big club earlier in their career and they've had to drop down. The hunger they'd have to succeed in the Premier League. You've seen it happen loads of times with players like that. And I don't know why. What are our scouts doing? Are our scouts not looking in the English game? Are they only looking abroad? Because it seems as though they are. We can sign players from the French league all day long, from the French league, which is a poor league in general. And we can't sign players from the Championship in England or even lower Premier League clubs. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I don't know why we're not.
Are we snobs?
Yeah, Melvin
is that the reason though? To me, I don't know. We're buying cheap. Like, take Guendouzi for example, right? A cheap player from the French league. He didn't cost a lot of money, right? No one had heard of him, and he came in, and he's done all right for Arsenal. And in the end, of course, he's now gone on loan and he's playing all right. But we could have got a player similar to that was maybe in the Championship who would have played at probably a higher level than Guendouzi had, and could have gone on to have a more successful career, and he might have cost less money. And I don't know. I don't know if
mate. Yeah, Rich, mate. There's Melvin's right. I said it before. There's definitely a snobbery amongst the fan base. You just have to look at some of the names that get mentioned, whether it's Championship level or players in the Premier League. You say that to some Arsenal fans. Ross said it in the chat earlier, Lewis Dunk. I think he splits the Arsenal fan base 50-50. And I think, but he can defend. I'd rather have him next to a Saliba or a Gabriel than David Luiz. That's, to me, it's a no-brainer.
But yet we've got a player in Rob Holding who we bought from Bolton, a type of player that we're talking about, a young player, came from Bolton, and he's probably not really made that step up, has he? If Rob Holding had played for Brighton for 4 years, everyone would be saying, "Oh, Rob Holding's a player we need," like Lewis Dunk type thing,
Yeah.
But because he came from Bolton, he's played for Arsenal, and he's not really become that player, has he? For whatever reason. I think Russ has got a point there that English players do cost more money from English clubs. I suppose the price is more, but are you better off sometimes not paying a little bit more to get a player that hasn't got to spend 15 months, 16 months adapting to the English game, learning the language, a player that's used to playing in English football? So you might have to pay a little bit more, but is it not a better investment long term for a player that's going to settle in straight away and can hit the ground running, as opposed to someone like Nicolas Pepe, who's still settling for all that money?
Yeah, I get what Russ is saying. I don't think that applies to some of the players we've spoken about. For example, like I said with me saying about Iberieze, he wouldn't have cost an arm and a leg to get.
Well, he didn't, did he? He didn't.
So there you go. Yeah.
Exactly. But I know it's true. Maybe when Arsenal come in, or Man United come in, or Liverpool come in, they whack an extra 20 million on the price because they think, well, they've got more money. So that is probably true. Crystal Palace can probably get the same player cheaper than what we could because of that reason. I mean, Andrew says he's jealous of every other single team in the Premier League. I am as well. I watched him and I'm thinking, why can't we play like that? But that's been the case for a while, actually. Ross says Chambers cost 16 million, hasn't done any. Oh, well, he had that injury. I thought he was playing okay actually before the injury. To be fair, we'll see how well he is when he comes back. But he's certainly not been worth 16 million, has he?
And Rich, you know the funny thing about the Chambers one. I'm glad Russ mentioned him. We actually could have sold him for more than what we paid for him. Leicester put in what, a 25 million pound bid about 2-3 years ago, and we rejected it.
Yeah, we did.
Madness.
We have got the worst record for buying and selling players over the last 5 years than any other club in the Premiership.
Absolutely.
By a million miles.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Here's 12 million. I don't know if we could have got him for 12 million, maybe a bit more, but even so, it still would have been maybe worth doing. But I say there's opportunities now for us to buy a similar sort of player from the Championship. There's a load of them in the Championship, young players that are hungry, as Melvin said, and could come straight into Arsenal and improve what we've got. But I guarantee in January, if we bring anyone in, it'll be somebody from France, or it'll be somebody from South America, or it'll be somebody like that. We're not going to buy a player from England. I just don't think we will.
No.
The Championship or from the Premier League. I can't see us doing that. And
if we get a player from the Premier League, it'd be 38 or something.
From Chelsea. We'll probably get Giroud back, won't we, when he's 36, whatever. I wouldn't actually mind Giroud back for 6 months on loan or something. He'd do a good job for us. But yeah, that'll be the sort of thing that we'll get. Yeah, we will. Buy an over-the-hill Man United reject as well. We like them, don't we? Man United and Chelsea.
Yeah.
They're the ones that we tend to do.
Yeah, it's fair point, Andrew. Yeah.
I bet you we wouldn't get him for 12 million now, though, would we? If we went for Buendia now, I mean, I think it probably cost us more. But again, he's a player that last summer we should have been looking at. All the teams that get relegated. I mean, at Decore went to Everton from Watford. Yeah. We could have maybe looked at him. Obviously, Buendia at Norwich, another one. Happens every year. Players I
can't believe no one's gone in for Max Aarons. That really does. I know a couple of clubs have been interested in Germany and I think maybe England, but I'm very surprised someone's not snapped him up.
What's he like defensively? I know he's very good going forward out, but what's he like defensively?
You know what it is, Melvin, though? I think when I was saying to you yesterday, I think with a lot of fullbacks, modern day football, a lot of them, and the only one I would hang my hat on defensively fullback would be Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But then he's got the opposite problem. He's not great going forward. But you want someone that can defend. But if you're not going to be great defensively, then you've got to be outstanding in the other department, which Robertson and Luca Dina, Everton, these are quality footballers. But unfortunately, we've only got it at Arsenal, like one side of the pitch, and that's Kieran Tierney. Yeah,
and Saka when he plays there as well.
Yeah,
Matthias Pereira is a very good player. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is a good player as well. Yeah, but again, he's the sort of player that we won't buy. You know. And unfortunately, that's the situation that we find ourselves. Not just now, but this has been
a long time.
I mean, I'd say Rob Holding's an exception, maybe Callum Chambers as well to a certain degree, but they're unusual, aren't they, for Arsenal to buy players like that? We never generally do. And again, they're sort of solid defensive players as opposed to maybe an attacking sort of midfield player. When was the last time we bought a player like that from the Premier League or from the Championship? Probably Theo Walcott.
At the moment, what's changed over the last 3 or 4 years? We could have come, if they had a decent player, we could have knocked on Leicester's door, Wolves' door, Everton's door, and say, we're going to buy him. What do you want? And the player, the pull of us would have been too much for the player and the club to turn us down. Nowadays, these clubs have got as much money as us with the owners they've got. And they can afford to say, sorry, we ain't selling to you. So our pool in England has got smaller as well. So we should be looking to the lower leagues to make the pool a bit bigger.
Yes, Souček's a good player. I agree with that. He's decent. Brighton got Lamptey for 1.5 million.
And fair play to Lamptey because he could have You know what? He could have sat on his arse and stayed at Chelsea, but you know what? He said, you know what? Let me take an opportunity, get some first team football and go to Brighton. And now you're probably doing good, actually, because I know a lot of clubs will be looking at him. Absolutely.
Yeah. He's going to go for a lot of money, isn't he, that boy? He will.
Yeah.
He'll end up going for a lot of money, and Brighton will make a massive profit on him and probably buy half a new team with what they get for him. But, yeah. But sometimes it is clubs taking a chance on somebody like that.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just proven there. He's another one it's proved to be a success. And Arsenal don't take them chances enough, do they, on players like that? They don't. And
it's a no-brainer. You buy him for £1.5 million.
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer. You buy him for one. If he fails, you get your money back and more because he's played for the Arsenal.
Yeah,
it's an absolute no-brainer.
I think he's very. I don't know how old he is. I don't think he's even 20. Is he?
He looks about 14, doesn't he? He looks like a little kid, doesn't he? But you've got to love him because he's just brilliant, isn't he? What a player he is. But he does look very young. I don't know actually how old he is, but
I'm sure he's 19, 20. I'll have a look.
Yeah, he must be, yeah. I mean,
so he's got sell-on value as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like Melvin says, he's an absolute no-brainer for 1.5 million. You're not going to lose money on him, are you?
No, exactly.
I mean, I say in Brighton are going to end up rebuilding after their squad when they sell him because they will inevitably have to
sell him. They'll build another pair, won't they, Richard?
Yeah, he's 20. He's 20, Rich. 20, mate.
20
years old.
Wow, what a future he's got.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what a player he is.
I think he came on it. I'm sure he came on against us last season at the Emirates. I'm sure he did. Yeah, he did. He did. Lampard brought him on, I remember.
Did he?
Yeah, he came on as a sub. I remember,
the game that they beat us when Arteta's first home game.
Yes, he came on as a sub. Yeah, Lamptey,
yeah. I think I remember he did now. Yeah, now you mentioned it. Andrew said he's 19.
I done Wikipedia. It said 20 unless they're lying.
It might be his birthday today.
If it's on Wikipedia, it must be true. Everything on Wikipedia is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just another example, isn't it? There'll be lots of players at other clubs that aren't getting a game, that are good young players, and you know, I don't know what our scouts do. Honestly, they must just like getting free travel to Europe or South America. Not that they're flying much at the minute, I wouldn't have thought, but anyway, but that must be why, because we never buy them players, do we? We just never do.
No, we don't.
You know, and even more established Premier League. I mean, you look at Liverpool's team. I know we've mentioned this before, but they bought players from Sunderland, they bought players from Newcastle, they bought players from Southampton. You know, and they've built the team.
Back.
Yeah.
Hull.
8 million, mate. 8 million quid for Robertson.
That was a joke, that one. I saw him play for Hull. It was terrific.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, for Scotland as well. Excellent.
Yeah.
But you see, Liverpool have got this team that they've got. Yes, they've had money to spend, and they got all that money for what's his face? Coutinho, yeah. But they've bought well, haven't they? And they've bought players that are already playing in English football that know the game, and they can just come straight in. And that's what Liverpool did, and that's why they had the team that they are now. Yes, they've got a few others as well, but then they got Salah, who didn't make it at Chelsea. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's that's how you do it. They've shown that's how you do it. I mean, Man City have gone the other route. They just buy the most expensive players they can find, and most of them end up being quite good, and then that's how they've done it. But Liverpool's shown that you haven't got to do that. You can actually do it in a sensible way. You can buy the right players that are already playing in England, add a couple of foreign players in here and there as well, and there you go. You've got a great squad and a few young players coming through. Liverpool are the example that they've set the standard, haven't they? Really, they've set the example that clubs like Arsenal and everybody else should be following if you want to have sustained success. Because you can see Liverpool, I can see Liverpool now going on and having a long period of success with the setup that they've got and the young players they've got coming through and the recruitment that they've got. It's unbelievable. I mean, they just bought that Jota, didn't they, from Wolves? What a player he is, you know. And
really well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he cost a few quid, but you know he's a top player anyway. But you know they recruit well, Liverpool, and you look at our recruitment and you think it's been poor, isn't it, for a long time?
Long time.
They bought the guy from Newcastle. I can't pronounce his name. Wijnaldum, sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't remember him being fantastic for Newcastle. He
wasn't.
Went to Liverpool, and he's been a big success.
Yeah,
Very big
he was
success.
he was just a steady player at Newcastle. He was an all right sort of player. He did a job, and you think fair enough. He's an all right player. And then they got relegated. They had to sell a few players. Liverpool bought him, and he's gone on. Look at Henderson as well at Sunderland. You wouldn't say he was fantastic at Sunderland, would you? He was all right. He was a steady enough Premier League player, and they've bought him, and he's added to what they needed. And
it's strange with Wijnaldum, because when he's at Newcastle, from what I can vaguely remember, he completely didn't play in this. He completely wasn't using the way he is now. I mean, he's actually got more goals to his game than what you'd think. But the way he plays, the way he set up and plays for Liverpool is completely different.
Yeah, it is different. Yeah, but then you see that's
good
buying, isn't it? That's what a good coach does, isn't it? They see. Get the best out of the players that they can. Andrew loves his young players, and he wants to see how. We might have just played the under-23s in the Premier League. We certainly wouldn't do any worse anyway. That's for certain. I must admit that Patino looks decent, doesn't he? Charlie Patino. He looks pretty good. I've not seen enough of that Molly yet. I think
I've not seen much yet.
A lot of people say he's good, and he's a big lad. He'll probably get his head on some of them crosses, maybe.
Do you ever watch? Bit naughty what I'm doing here. Do you ever watch the Transfer Exchange?
No, I don't. I don't. Yeah.
Do you ever watch it?
No, I don't. I know you're talking about it.
The last 2 weeks have done all about our under-23s.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only doing it's naughty of me because my son's on it every week. So a little bit of that. Sorry about that, but I'm doing it anyway. The last 2 weeks, they had 2 half-hour shows with my son's Jerome doing it, and it was really good. What they spoke about the players and what they're like and everything. It gives me a bit of hope for the future. You know what I mean? It gives us a little bit of hope because you know that they could, 1 or 2 of them could get in there and fill the gaps. We've got a few gaps, I know, but they could really do it. I really think they could do it. People like Muller, Patino, is it? They were talking about.
Patino, Sorry, Patino,
high hopes of him and what he can do. So it's I know that we're not in a great place at the moment, but a little bit of tweaking, just get us another 10-20% going and then bring the others through. I think the future might be all right. I'm not as despondent as I might have been, but as I should be.
I mean, and I suppose at the end of the day, what you got to look at is when we're in the Championship next season, these players will flourish.
Oh yeah, that's right. More space.
They'll flourish in the Championship, so we'll be fine. We'll probably come straight back up in about 15 years, like Leeds.
All those grounds I've never been to, mate.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to it. Hopefully, fans will be allowed in. We can go to go back to Bolton and stuff like that. Places in Blackburn we haven't been to for years. Nottingham Forest and stuff like that. Be good.
I've been to Blackburn. Been to Blackburn a couple of times.
Yeah, I've been Blackburn. It's a good away day, Blackburn actually. It's a decent away. Burnley's another one I like, but I know Burnley are a bit of an annoying team to play against, but it's quite a good away day. Burnley actually going to Burnley's decent. I quite like going there, so I hope they stay up. Let's get there we go. Have a chance of winning the title. Well, we wouldn't know, would we? You think we'd win the Championship, Russ? Come on. I think we'd struggle big time in that league, to be honest. I think can you imagine our players are not even up for a game in the Premier League against Tottenham? What are they going to be like going away from home to somewhere like I don't know, Sheffield Wednesday on a Tuesday evening or something like that, or Barnsley, somewhere like that? They're not going to be up for that, are they? Absolutely joking. We'd never win the Championship.
With a Lee Chapman type centre forward going into the ball.
It would be a laugh, though, wouldn't it? To be fair, it would be a laugh having a season in the Championship, wouldn't it? I wouldn't want to do it.
No pressure.
No matter if because we'd be a big club and we'd be expected to win every game.
Yeah,
and I think there would be pressure because if we had two losses or something like that, Wigan was a great day out. I used to be at Asda. Quite close to the ground. We used to park there, and you always used to get a parking ticket every single game. I never learnt my lesson. I parked out every single game we played Wigan. Every single time I get a parking ticket. But anyway, just because it was handy, it was close. You could easily get a space. It was a 5-minute walk to the ground. It was brilliant.
Could you live that half time, put another ticket on?
Like Leeds.
Yeah, well, maybe should have done. Yeah, I think we probably would actually. If we got relegated, I would fear that we wouldn't come straight back. We wouldn't do a Newcastle like they have. Genuinely, I must admit, I can see some advantages in it. I've been thinking about it quite a lot since yesterday. I must admit, when I look at the league table,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, imagine if we were in the Championship just for one season. If it was only one season, I could probably survive. If we got to 2 or 3 years, then it starts to annoy me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But luckily, at the moment, Brighton are still drawing, guys. So we're still 15th. We're still 15th. Let's celebrate being 15th because it's good. We haven't dropped down to 16th yet. Not so. But no, I mean,
when we go down, do they wear rosettes? These supporters, I can't remember.
He got Melvin. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
No, it would be a laugh. Yeah. It would be a laugh. Having said that, have you seen the big clubs that are in the Championship? So it wouldn't be a lot different, actually. You know, you've got traditionally big Premier League clubs, haven't you?
Yeah. Wouldn't they?
It'd be exciting. Yeah, it would be quite exciting. Well, it'd be something different, wouldn't it? You know, but I wouldn't really want us to break that record of never been relegated since 1913. You know, I wouldn't want us to break that record. Really.
No.
All them years,
broke a record, though, don't we? Let's face it.
Well, this year we've broken every record going. Yeah. So yeah, this will be the next one. But every year you get an unexpected club who drop down into the relegation zone, don't you? Every single year, you know, and luckily there seems to be at least 4 or 5 clubs that are a lot worse than us that we should finish above. But you never know, unless we start winning some games. Apparently, Southampton got a penalty. So,
dear.
Is Danny Ings playing? Because he's in my fantasy team still. I didn't take him out. Oh, he's not.
No, he had quite a serious injury, didn't he? I think it was.
Yeah. I need to take him out. I need to have a look at my fantasy team, actually, because I keep forgetting to take players out that aren't playing, which is quite annoying because it's costing me points. But anyway, does Danny Ings take their penalties? Anyway, I mean, it's Ward-Prowse, isn't it?
I think Danny Ings takes them, actually.
Ward-Prowse takes all the free kicks.
All the free kicks, isn't he? Yeah.
He's a good player. He's another one. Ward-Prowse be a good player for us, you know. Bit of creativity.
It's a good player.
Yeah. When's the last time we had a player score 3 kicks for us outside the box, eh?
A long time ago, mate.
Alexis Sanchez did at Middlesbrough. I was at that game once. That was good. But yeah, not often.
Yeah, 2-1.
Did he score? Was it Danny Ings?
Danny Ings.
Oh, get him.
2-1.
Oh, well, that's all right then. So we stay above Brighton in the league.
3 points.
It's a day to celebrate. It is a day to celebrate. Yeah, we're 15th in the league. We're going to be safe. I think we might be safe for now. There was one last game I just briefly wanted to talk about. I did a little thing on it earlier. It was this one. So yeah, I mean, Arsenal women, they're the best Arsenal team to watch at the moment, to be fair. They play good football, and it's nowhere near as stressful as watching the men. And yeah, they've actually got a big game this weekend on Saturday against Man City, which is on BT Sport actually. So I think that would be worth watching because they're a good side. Have you guys watched much of the Arsenal women or not? It's not your thing.
Not caught much recently. Not recently, mate. The Man City women are quite a decent side, though.
Yeah, Man City, all right. Yeah, Chelsea are pretty good. Man United are top actually at the moment in the WSL. Do you watch much women's football, Melvin?
I watch a bit, not a lot, but I'll tell you something. The standard has just rocketed the last few years.
Yeah, it has absolutely.
Totally different. 5 years ago. Totally different game. They are proper footballers, a lot of these girls. They're really good. From when it first started, you could see the difference. It wasn't quite right, you know?
Yeah.
It was like Mystic goes up in the air. Now they play, and some of the one-touch, I wish we could play some one-touch football like they do. It really, I mean, they do move it forward quickly. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
The touch, the vision some of them have got, it's really, really good. I do enjoy watching it if it's on. You know, a few years ago, if it was on, I'd look at it and go, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
But now, if it's on, I'll watch it.
It has improved a lot. I mean, Andrew enjoys. I mean, I went to the cup final. Arsenal played against Chelsea in just before the lockdown, and that was such a good game of football. It really was a good game of football. 2 teams that were going for it to try and win the game, and Arsenal unfortunately lost in the last minute, but they played well, deserved to win that game. But it was such a good game of football, and it was refreshing to see no negative play, no rolling around when they've been tackled, and
you
just
don't get that. You're right.
Just football. They just want to play football, and that's it. They don't want to mess around. They don't waste time. They just get the ball, want to pass the ball and play football. And it's refreshing to watch. I love watching women's football, and I agree with Melvin. It's improved massively in the last few years. I mean, I think that last World Cup last summer was the big turning point for me. You saw some of the football going on in that World Cup, and you could see how much the standards improved from the previous World Cup. And it's good to see, actually. I mean, I know Russ has said about the goalkeepers. I think the problem with the goalkeepers is they're a lot smaller than the men, and the goals are the same size. So they've got a lot bigger space to cover, and it's more difficult for them. Maybe an argument is that maybe the goal should be slightly smaller for women's football, maybe because they are generally smaller than the men's goalkeepers, aren't they? So it's more difficult for them. So I don't necessarily think that they're not good. I just think it's easy to chip a woman's goalkeeper when they're only 4'8". It's easier to chip a minute when the goal's the same size. Playing 5-a-side goals, I reckon that'd be better in 5-a-side goals.
I think Russ is probably talking about it because I must admit, Rich, I'm probably going by what I've seen with I don't know if she's the England goalkeeper now. Still, I don't know how that Karen Bart. They must have a better goalkeeper than Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, I mean, the goalkeepers are.
I mean, I don't think the goalkeepers have improved as well. But do you ever listen to the coach of Chelsea women?
Yeah,
Rebecca Hayes. Yeah, she can rub people out the wrong way.
She's really, really good.
It's not just me that dislikes her. Is that right?
No, I'm one of my ex-work colleagues. She's a lady. She's a Chelsea fan. She said she can't stand Emma Hayes, mate. Honestly,
I think she knows her stuff though.
She does.
Yeah, she probably does know her stuff, but I've never liked her actually. There's something about her that just annoys me so much. I actually dislike the Chelsea women's team just on the back of the fact that she's a manager. And I don't even know why. I've just had this thing with her. I thought maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just something about her I don't like. But now I'm even other people don't like. It makes me feel a bit better about it.
I see Andrew's comment. Yeah, I think there is something about it. There is. I don't know. It's like maybe it's not fair. Just like a dislikable quality about it. I don't know what it is. There is something.
Yeah, Well, you hear her interviews after games, she doesn't come across in the best way, and maybe that's just the way she comes across in the media. I don't know, but I've never liked her actually. I must be honest. She's the one person I dislike. It makes me dislike Chelsea even more.
I agree with Andrew. She could manage a meeting.
I wouldn't disagree with it.
I know she definitely. She probably does know her stuff, and she's probably a really good coach. But having said that, I still don't like her.
Yeah, she came on when they used to have that program on Sky Sports. They don't do it anymore. That debate program. She came on there a couple of times. Yeah, she knows her stuff, and I give her a due.
That's what I've seen her. Definitely. Yeah, she doesn't know it.
Give her a due. I don't like her, but I'll give her a due. Though.
Yeah, no, I don't like her either. I guess she's probably the women's version of Jose Mourinho, perhaps.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Yes, 100%, mate. 100%.
That's probably what it is. But yeah, I must admit, I didn't realise that was a general opinion that people didn't like her. Actually, I thought it was just me. I didn't want to say anything in case it was just me. I kind of felt bad, but now you lot don't like her either. I don't feel so bad about it. I'll tell you,
the United women have done well because they've not been formed that long, to be honest. With Casey Stoney as a manager, they've done all right. They've done
they're doing really well. Yeah, top of the league at the moment. Actually, they beat Arsenal a few weeks ago. They're a good side, and like you said, Albert, they're quite a new team as well. Yeah. And it just goes to show, really, a little bit of investment in women's football, and you can make a success of it. The thing that annoys me actually, and I'm quite, I feel this is a bad Arsenal. As a football club, I don't think give the women's team enough coverage. Really, they had a game on Sunday, and they didn't have any coverage on the website or anything like that, and that's not good enough for me because Arsenal women they're the most successful club in women's football history, and they're currently second in the league. They won the league the year before last. They constantly get to cup finals, and I just think that they need to. Women's football needs to be promoted more, and Arsenal were the biggest women's club pretty much in history. That they need to be doing more. They should stream the games live on their website every single game that they play. That's not tied into BT Sport. I mean, next year the WSL is going out for. It's going to be on Sky or BT are going to be winning the rights to women's football. So you're going to get games on Sky, but you're only going to be able to see the games that are on Sky. So you're still not going to get as much coverage, but. Arsenal should be doing more. They should be streaming the games on the website every single week, because there's no reason why they can't. There's no TV rights that have gone to anywhere else. BBC show the odd one here and there, but BBC should show them on the red button or something every single week. They should have them all on, because it needs more people to see it, and then it's going to grow, and then it's even quicker than it's grown already.
They deserve it. Their football is up to a quality where they deserve more coverage, definitely.
Yeah.
All matches are free on it. I didn't know they was, actually. I didn't know they are. Okay, well that's good news then. But the fact that I didn't know about it, I'm guessing a lot of people don't know about it.
No, I don't do that.
So they need to be promoting that more, then, don't they? So that we can know where we can watch it. I've been desperate to watch a lot of the Arsenal women's games live, and I can't find anywhere to watch them. But that's how they're on the FA Player. But of course, the Man City game on this weekend won't be, because BT have got it, so it won't be on that for free. I'll have to pay for it if I want to watch it, which is a little bit annoying, because I want to do a watch along of it, actually. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I might see if I can find a stream. But yeah, I mean, it's good that it's getting free. That it is on for free, but they need to promote that more, because I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people probably aren't either, because a lot of people I spoke to about women's football said the same thing. We want to watch more of it, but we can't, because it's not on. There's nowhere to watch it.
Yeah.
But it's another point, really. I say it's just something that I personally enjoy, and I do think it is growing fast and improving fast as well. And the standard now, certainly the WSL, have got most of the best women's players in the world are playing in WSL now, and the quality is good. It used to be maybe 2 teams that would only ever win it, and now there's 4 or 5 really good teams in the league now. It's really competitive, and it makes it a lot better. Andrew the Oracle, yeah, it seems like it. It's only when you've got Google in front of you, though, isn't it? I suppose. Yeah, I know you can watch highlights. Yeah, I've seen all the highlights, but I like watching them live and stuff like that. But anyway, but yeah, well, now we know we can find it, which is good. So that's been that's been useful. So I'll definitely look for some more games on there, because it's good to watch. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about before we finish.
No, I think we've covered most of it.
We have, yeah.
No, cool.
Roll on Thursday is 2 different teams, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I mean, the Europa League. I mean, I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. I've actually enjoyed us being in the Europa League the last few seasons, actually, because one, I feel it's a competition that we've got a chance of winning. Whereas when we've been in the Champions League, the last 10 years we were in the Champions League, we had no chance of winning it, and you knew that from the start. But with the Europa League, I've actually really enjoyed us playing in the Europa League, because it's a little bit less pressure, and it's a competition that we've got a great chance of doing well in, and we've got to a semi-final, we've got to a final, and I think if we stayed in the Europa League for the next 4 or 5 years, we will win it at some point. We definitely will. I'd rather be in the Champions League for the prestige and for the money, but from an enjoyment point of view, I quite like the Europa League. And this season in particular, it's been the only shining light of the season, the Europa League games, where we've actually played some decent football, and against poor teams, let's be honest, but it's been enjoyable to watch, isn't it? I mean, what would do you actually enjoy the Europa League? Or is it something that you'd rather not be in?
You know what it is? I'll be honest with you, particularly with some of the first half performances, it feels like I was watching the Premier League. But the second half performances are not bad. But I think I'll reserve my judgment until we see who falls out of the Champions League, and then comes into Europa League before I start thinking about we might be able to win it.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but I still think we're in with a chance. I'm not saying we'll definitely win. I mean, last year we got knocked out early on. We got knocked out in the semi-final a couple of times before, but it's a competition that I feel that we've got a chance of winning. More so than we would if we was in the Champions League, because I just don't think we're ready to compete in that. We haven't been for a long time. Do you like the Europa League, Melvin?
I like it to see the youngsters and the people that are on the peripheral of getting in the team.
Yeah.
But the only problem I've got now is these youngsters that are on peripheral aren't getting a chance. So what's the point?
Well, yeah, they're not. I mean, that is what's happened in the last few weeks. Like we said earlier, Maitland-Niles deserved an opportunity to play at the weekend, and there's a few that have been. I mean, Willock got a couple of chances in the Premier League, but not really enough.
Yeah,
Balogun's not even getting on the bench in the Premier League when we can't score goals, and he can score goals. He's a goal scorer, and can he do it at that level? We're never going to know if he's not tried. Like a few of them. So, yeah, I'm a little bit frustrated by that as well. But as a competition, I do quite enjoy us being in the Europa League, because I'll say you feel as though we've got a chance of doing quite well in it, going a long way in the competition. It keeps the season alive, doesn't it? If we stay in the Europa League up to April, at least we've got, if we're out of everything else, at least you've got that to fall back on. It's something to keep the season alive, isn't it? And whereas in the Champions League, we'll be out of that. Imagine if we get into the Champions League next season, what's going to happen to us in that competition? You know, would we even get out of the group stage at the minute? The way the club is, I mean, I don't know. So I don't mind if we're in the Europa League again next year, but at the minute we might not be in Europe at all, the way things are going. But
true.
Anyway, bearing in mind, Arteta's never lost a domestic cup tie for Arsenal yet, so we might win a Carabao Cup this year.
It's been a while, mate. 93, innit? Jesus. League Cup.
Yeah, it would be nice to win it, actually. I know that people think it's not that an important competition, but at the moment, imagine it going through that. You know, last season wasn't a great season for Arsenal, finishing 8th. We won the FA Cup. This season's looking like an even worse season. Imagine if we was to win the Carabao Cup, get two trophies in 2 of our poorest seasons in living memory. And we've still won 2 trophies, and Tottenham, having one of their greatest ever seasons like they did a couple of years ago, still can't win a trophy. And we're kind of moaning all the time about our fortune and how bad we are, which we've got a right to do. But when you look at it, we've still consistently won trophies in the last 5-6 years, haven't we? You know, and we might win one this year as well, this season. Imagine that. Imagine finishing 16th but winning the Carabao Cup. What a season that would be. What a time to be alive. But anyway, I mean, it's all good stuff. But anyway, we'll you know, at the moment we have to laugh about our predicament, don't we? Because otherwise we just cry. Has the Southampton game finished yet? Yeah,
finished, mate. 2-1.
Oh, thank God for that. Cheers, Southampton. We stay 15th, so we're still safe for the time being. We're safe until Sunday. But yeah, obviously we've got the game Thursday, which we should see. I think this will be the week that I think he'll play a really young side, because so far he's kept quite a lot of experienced players playing, hasn't he, in the Europa League?
Yeah.
And I think now we've won the group. This is a chance, isn't it? Playing Dundalk away, probably weakest team in the group, to go over there with just a young side. A lot of the under-23 players. Aziz should get a game. You know, that Ben Cottrell should maybe get a game. Yeah. You know, Balogun should start. Play all them kids. Do you know what I mean? And let's see what happens. And hopefully, if they come back, win that game, then he might look at some of them differently, maybe. Yeah. But probably not. It'll be the same team on Sunday, where Willian will still be playing, Bellerin will still be playing, Lacazette will still be playing. And
you're talking about Thursday. You're talking about,
yeah, Thursday.
Or the league game. Thursday, no, it changed. He'd play Cedric at right back, definitely.
I know Thursday will, yeah, but I mean on Sunday, no matter how well they play on Thursday.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. On
Sunday he'll play the same, pretty much the same team, won't he?
Yeah,
as you were.
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, because that Burnley game now is a massive game, isn't it? If we were to drop points, even a draw in that game is not acceptable, really, when you look at it, where they are in the league and their results and where we should be. You know, if we don't win that game, then that's massive pressure on Arteta. So I think he'll go safe on Sunday and play the usual kind of players, the experienced players that have been letting him down.
Yeah.
I think that's what he'll do. But we'll see. I mean, maybe he'll surprise us and throw a few of the kids in and, you know, maybe excite us all and we play well and win, and that'll be great. But I certainly won't hold my breath. But anyway, well, thanks for you guys for coming on tonight. It's been great. Been really enjoyable looking at things. Not I know we talked about Arsenal a lot, but we're bound to. But you know, talking about other stuff as well, other clubs, other players, other stuff that's going on as well. It makes a change, I think, for me, than just constantly worrying about our problems at the moment, which not enjoyable, is it? So it's good to talk about other stuff as well. So thanks everyone in the chat as well. Obviously, Andrew and Russ, who put a lot of stuff in. Hussein earlier on as well. He thinks we're going to lose every week. Actually, Hussein does. Although he did say we'd beat Tottenham, and he was wrong. But anyway, never mind. He'll be right one day. And Nitesh as well, who was in earlier. And Mark, who's a Tottenham fan, who was on this channel yesterday, talking about the game. Great guy he is, actually. Just goes to show that. So there's a couple of Tottenham fans that are actually human, which is good. We had one on Friday, and Mark as well, who came on yesterday. So that's good to see. You know, we are all the same, aren't we, football fans? At the end of the day, we all want what's best for our club, don't we? At the end of the day, and that's it. And unfortunately, at the moment, we're not really getting that. But anyway, so thanks for you guys for coming on. Melvin, where can people find you on social media and stuff?
On Twitter, Melvin, the only way is Arsenal. Marks, thanks again. Really enjoyed it, Richard. Thanks again.
No, it's always a pleasure to have you on. And Albert as well. Where can people find you?
Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the invite, mate. Yeah, Albert JTV, and my Twitter handle is there. So check out my channel and subscribe if you want to.
Yeah, it's definitely check out Albert's channel because it's really good. I actually mentioned your watch along on my watch along yesterday, actually, because I knew it was your first one.
Yeah.
How did it go? I kept watching.
Yeah, it was good because the guys had a better stream than I did, so I was sort of catching up a little bit. But no, it was good chat with the guys that came on, man. Kesh, Ryan, Ross, and Ross was on. So no, I appreciate them coming on. It was. To be honest, they're just making me laugh. As I was getting annoyed with the result, their passion in it, Rich. It's just it does come out when you watch the team play, man. Seriously.
Yeah. No, it is good. I mean, I've started doing them on my own for the simple reason that, for what you said, you've got people with different streams that are a little bit ahead and behind, and it kind of spoils it a little bit because the goal's gone in, and you see the goal 5 minutes after it's gone in, and it's like, oh, that was annoying.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of doing them on my own just for that reason. So I can see the game in real time, even though I may be 5 minutes behind or 2 minutes behind, whatever.
I probably enjoy doing the England watch-alongs more. I'll be honest with you, flipping hell, and that's saying something.
I must admit, every single watch-along I've done for Arsenal in the Premier League, we've lost. I know we drew with Leeds, but we've lost all the others. We haven't won yet. We've won a couple of Europa League games, which has been good. But anyway. It's good to do, but I say definitely check out Albert's channel because it's good stuff. He's got good stuff on there.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
It's always good. So I mean, I'm sure we'll speak again soon anyway. And I'm sure Melvin will probably be back on Friday for the usual show.
Got to do my homework on Burnley.
Yeah, we haven't played them as much, have we? I was thinking about that today actually.
There's not many players that have played for both. The only one I can think of in my head was Ray Hankin.
Oh, Ray Hankin, yeah, we went through him at Leeds as well, didn't we? Did we mention him there?
I can't think at the moment.
There'll probably be some somewhere, but in terms of even past matches against them, we haven't got that much. Well, I haven't got that much of a history because we didn't play them for years. I mean, you probably see us play Burnley a bit more in the 60s and 70s. Probably you've probably got some good memories of that. I mean, I don't particularly have many, but I'm going to try and get a Burnley fan on if I can find one that might have some good memories as well. That'd be quite good. But I'll put a message out during the week and see if we can. But so that'll be good for Friday anyway. And I will be doing a watch along for Thursday night's game as well. Isn't it the early kickoff this week though? Is it 6 o'clock?
I'm sure, mate. Actually,
because I'm sure we had another one that was 6 o'clock, so it must be this one because the last one wasn't. But anyway. If it's not 6 o'clock when I'll do a live watch along. Otherwise, I probably won't be able to because I'll be working.
Yeah. I can't see it. Yeah.
But well, I mean, I'll sort it out in a week and I will see. But yeah, so I'll say thanks everyone for watching as well. Thanks for your support of the channel, everyone. So thanks to Melvin and Albert for coming on and having a good chat tonight. And in the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you Gunners! Let's get better. Let's start winning some games. Come on, please, win a game again. It'd be nice.